right, welcome everyone to our 2019 annual. This is our anniversary special.
Woo!
Welcome YouTube land.
Hello.
YouTube hey, open a camera over there.
And audio land.
We're here in your head.
Yeah, and in person.
And in spirit.
Celebrating 3 years.
Three goddamn years with you sons of bitches.
I love commitment.
Yeah, I love you too, but we can't do that shit.
No, we can do that. It's PG-13.
Okay.
Yeah, we get one F-bomb.
Yeah, that's PG-13.
Okay.
Yeah,
no, that doesn't even count. You can flip people off in a PG-13 movie.
Take that, Disney.
I like you tweeted a little while back and you were like, you know what? I'm not going to take my Disney shield money.
Yeah.
What was that for?
It's for Marvel's Avengers.
Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could keep the check this time. yeah. Sorry.
Anyway.
Welcome, baby.
This is our 3-year
Square Enix's Marvel's Avengers, to be specific, right?
Disney's Square Enix's Marvel's Avengers, brought to you by PlayStation.
Yeah.
Enjoy your free Slim Jim.
Yeah, this is the 3rd anniversary special. We do this every year. If you're just joining us,
Hi, welcome.
we've done this for 3 years now.
Yeah,
guys.
3 years ago.
I honestly can't believe it.
3 years and a week
3 years and a week.
because I screwed up.
Close enough.
Hey, I wouldn't have remembered because I don't remember things. So it's good.
This is why I'm
How long have you had that nose ring? Bringing it back.
Yeah.
A long time, guys. I don't know anymore. I was born with it.
For those of you who were just tuning in, he didn't think he had that nose ring when we started the show.
Yeah.
I was looking through some pictures earlier, and I'm like, wow, I really had this nose ring for a long time. Like, wow, like 2016, no way, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
We started the show in the wake of...
Alan Wake.
That's a good game.
We started the show in the wake of Batman v Superman, I feel.
Yeah, that was my first episode.
Yeah, with the DVD release of the extended cut of Batman v Superman,
you
showed up.
Yeah, I was like, hey, this Ultimate Cut's not like the worst thing ever. It's still not great.
It's still not good.
Yeah.
That was the first time I wasn't able to be on that episode.
Well,
too.
because I was filling in because you weren't there.
Yeah.
So thanks for missing. I appreciate you.
Yeah, and then I met you, and then Brandon was talking to me. He's like, hey, I really like this guy. We should probably get him on the show. So I'm like,
stop.
all right, cool, I'll meet him. And then I met him. like, no, you're right. We should
Stop
keep him on here.
Hey, we've done this the last 2 times.
So
maybe we
always
don't need
talk
to retell the origin.
The
back in
origin
my
of the
day.
Fake Nerd podcast.
Well, so I was born in a log cabin.
No,
I
you
figure
weren't.
we'll go further back this time. Just work our
okay.
way up.
No, you weren't, you liar.
You don't know. You don't know where I was born. I have not shown you where my house was where I was born. You have no guaranteed reason that I was not born to believe that I was not born in the log cabin.
He wasn't.
You haven't even seen the house I was
Is he
born
Abraham
I know
Lincoln?
you weren't.
Wait. You
Shut
weren't
up.
born were you born in a house or a hospital?
in. I don't know.
Your mother is not the type of
You
woman
don't know
who would
either.
ever live in a log cabin.
She might have. Just to have me.
Not in this adult
I
life.
highly doubt it. I've met your
You
mom.
know what? You do
dude.
know my mother.
I do know your mother.
Yeah.
Log cabins.
There ain't room for all those fancy figurine dolls.
Did you guys ever play with Lincoln Logs?
Oh, yes.
Oh, my
Twice.
God.
I built a boardwalk. I built the Santa Cruz Beach boardwalk out of Connects.
Hey guys, remember Lincoln Logs? Step into 1992.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Remember Connects?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those.
Do you remember the
Those are like-
Connect for Xbox?
They don't. They gave up. Wasn't the Connects like super Legos, like advanced Legos?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
good.
They're like longer pieces. Yeah, I made
roller coasters.
with our there was like a group at like this thing called Stone Soup, which was like a daycare that was after school.
Sounds disgusting.
I went to a I mean it is.
My
went to
daycare
a
center
s-
was called Little Tykes.
I went to a summer daycare center called Stone Soup, where I met one of my very good friends that I no longer am in contact with. But we
Sounds like a
together,
dive bar.
a couple of friends of mine built the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk out of Connects.
Huh.
Was Jordan
cool.
Peele there?
No,
Was the wizard building that's not supposed to be there? Was it there?
no.
Okay.
It was cool. We built the bumper cars. We had the Ferris wheel. There's no Ferris wheel there. Why do we have a Ferris wheel? We
There's
didn't.
a Ferris wheel.
There was a Ferris wheel. No, we built the
Grand Canyon,
Grand.
Budapest Hotel,
Big Dipper?
Is that what it's called? The Big Dipper?
Yeah.
the Grand
The
Dipper?
Giant Dipper.
The Giant
It's
Dipper.
called the Giant Dipper. The roller coaster at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk
Do you
is
guys
called the Giant
remember
Dipper.
Bionicles? And there was that creature
Hell,
that you
yeah.
put rubber bands on, and it made its head go like this.
Yeah.
I still have that.
I
it.
had like 3 of those, and I would just go like all the time.
Those
I still have
were
that.
the coolest toys.
I was like so hardcore into Bionicles, and I was like 11. I'm like, fuck Legos, man. I'm all about Bionicle. Wow.
I want.
Now that's our one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I watched the first 2 Bionicle movies.
Oof. Yeah.
I do still remember liking the first one, not liking the second one because I was very confused because it was a prequel,
Oh.
and then each one has been a prequel since.
Yo, I was trying to convince my parents to buy me Bionicle toys, and they're like,
They had rubber
but-
bands.
I was like, yeah,
Suspension.
no, but I'm like,
Remember the white one with the gold mask?
yeah.
Yeah.
I had
That was
actually
cool.
I used to. Oh man, I used to
He had a
remember.
bike. I saw that bike.
Oh, I don't think I got that far.
Bike
I remember the
Bionicle.
very first time they released them, and I thought it was cool because it was like this brand new IP. He
had a mech, too. Sorry.
There's a brand new lore to it. I was like, yo, I'm into this. I had like 3 or 4 of them. They were awesome.
That was one of like I talk a lot about like my early fandoms. The 2 biggest ones were always Godzilla and Dragon Ball Z, but Bionicle was probably like the first expansive world building that I got into.
What about Zoids?
Oh shit, Zoids was rad.
Yo,
Zoids is the shit.
Did you ever watch Zoids?
yeah,
So
Zoids
that was on
awesome.
my life.
Oh man,
Dude.
Zoids was awesome.
the toys were way
Big
better
Cloud,
than that show.
right?
Dude,
Liger.
You know what I liked
Yeah.
better?
Zero.
You know what I liked better than Zoids? The prequel series
Oh,
that we got after. That
didn't watch
series
it.
was awesome.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
That series was so good.
No, I remember watching Zoids.
Hey guys, watch Zoids.
Hey guys, build more toys. They're cool.
Yo, toys. Those toys were
Toys
awesome.
to life.
No, I remember I wanted to buy Zoids because I was playing with my Gundams at the time,
I-
and I was like, "Yo, I can make my Zoids and my Gundams fight each other."
We went
but I
through-
never got any Zoids. I was
on
bummed.
our way back from Los Angeles to Monterey, because we used to drive from back and forth a lot when my brother was in college. On the way up, we stopped by every single Toys R Us finding a Liger Zero. Finally,
Damn.
we found one.
Damn, dude.
Well, how long did it take you to find it?
A couple of Toys R
7
Us's.
Toys R Us's.
My parents were not happy,
Yeah.
but they were very excited to finally get it.
This was back in the day without cell phone GPSs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Got to map quest it.
Oh Lord, I remember how many times I put my parents through a toy hunt. Like there's times where we go to the ones we knew that were close enough, and then my parents are like, "All right, here's the phone book. Call them and ask them and see if they have. If they
You do the
we'll-"
work.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Like when Kingdom Hearts first came out, one of my classmates convinced me that he had a actual life-size Keyblade. I wanted it so damn bad. I called almost every Toys R Us and within like a 100-mile radius. Every time I called, I was like, "Hey, do you have Keyblades?" They're like, "We have Beyblades." Is that the same thing? I'm like, "No,
That's
it's from
not simple or
it's from the
clean.
game Kingdom Hearts." And they're like, "There's toys from Kingdom Hearts. What's Kingdom Hearts?" I'm like, "Oh."
They should put Zoids on DVD.
I bet.
I'd buy the shit out
I
of that.
bet it's around.
No, it's not legal.
He's looking at it right now.
Is it not legal?
I mean, you can probably like find it on like one of the Kiss animes or one of the bootleg
Yeah.
places.
Which we don't condone.
Nope.
No.
No.
Don't watch the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla series on Cartoon whatever the hell it's called. But do buy it for standard definition on Amazon.
Hey,
There
I
you
love that
go.
SD baby
Is
in
that good?
2019.
Yep.
All right.
Or save yourself the money and actually buy a good Godzilla animated series, but not the shitty.
Also not
Hanna-Barbera
available on DVD anymore.
God damn it!
Aw.
They put that out of print
Listen,
real
if my
fast.
only
Wait, which one?
option,
The Godzilla animated series, the one that's set after the '98 film,
Yeah, it is.
I thought it was out of print.
No, the complete collection's still on it. I literally looked at it the other day for $11.
Oh.
$11.
There you
wow.
go, it's $11 bucks,
guys.
Nyctopolis. That's a lot of fish.
I looked at it because I'm like, I should probably pick that up to
Go-
complete my Godzilla collection.
Go scryonkling. Is that what I said? Scryonkling?
Gadzuki, that was terrible. All right.
I hate you.
No, you don't.
I don't.
You love me.
3
That's why we went
anniversary.
through
Can you
the years.
destroy this conversation?
Hey guys, let's think about that last year of fake nerd stuff. We did a lot of cool things,
We
didn't
did.
we?
Holy
We launched a YouTube's.
About time.
We sure did.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Hey,
Yeah.
whoa.
It's $8.
What?
Godzilla the animated series.
Oh, see, even $3 less than I said.
Wow.
You should get it.
I should,
Well, now we're going to.
but I'm poor.
Oh, by the way, they finally put Andromeda on DVD, the whole series.
Kevin Sorbo's Andromeda?
Yeah. Really want it. $50 for the whole series. Kind of debating it.
That's a lot for a DVD
Yeah.
It's
complete
the
series.
full complete series, though.
Yeah, that's a lot for DVD this day. That would be Blu-ray usually.
That's true.
This big.
How many seasons?
I don't remember how many seasons. 4 or 5?
Oh, baby, that's way too much.
It's $10 a season.
You could get Enterprise the entire series on DVD for like 30, and
To be
that's
fair,
4
like-
seasons.
DVD is like so old at this point. Like it is $50 seems like a lot. Yeah.
If it were Blu-ray, I'd be like 50 makes sense.
Yeah.
I really gotta get Star Trek on DVD.
Which one?
All of them.
Oh, all of them. Yeah.
I mean, I have
Do you mean
next gen.
Blu-ray?
I mean,
or
you have the
DVD?
best. You have the
On-
best one on Blu-ray. It's
I
Star
have
Trek
next
Discovery.
gen. I hate you. I have next gen, and I have the original series on DVD, but I don't have Enterprise, DS9, or Voyager.
Correction, you have the original series on Blu-ray. You're welcome.
Oh, I do.
Uh-huh.
I have it on DVD and Blu-ray because I didn't get
You're
rid of my-
welcome.
'cause I have both sets.
Special 50th anniversary edition, if I remember correctly.
Yes,
you
it
do
is.
remember correctly.
Uh-huh.
Man, can I just quickly tell that story about what happened that day?
Yes.
What?
Sure.
So I had a rough day. I don't remember why, but I just know I had a rough day. I was having money problems. I had packages coming, just things that I didn't even know I was buying was just showing up at my door, and my bank account was just worse and worse off because I was still working at the comic book store making nothing.
Yep, I get that.
And so I come home to this package. Great, another package of something I bought, probably. Great.
And you're not even like a drinker, so these are all sober choices.
Yeah, so
know.
I'm
What the
looking
hell?
through this. So I'm looking through this thing, and I'm like, I don't know what it's wrap. Why would I wrap something? Why would I do this to myself? And then the note says from my friend here, and I was just kind of like floored. He bought me the complete Blu-ray collection that had the animated series, the original series, all the movies, prints. It's gorgeous.
Did we introduce ourselves?
Oh man, they
Oh,
know.
I'm Brandon
Son
T.
of a-
McClure. This is Sparks Witty. This is Ben Magnet.
Son
That's
of a-
Ryan James Iliopoulos.
I just because you said my
Square.
friend here, I'm like, oh, we haven't established names, and I know you're probably not watching this randomly, but it's just so.
No, it was way more egregious on the E3 video when we didn't introduce ourselves.
So, like, 2
until
hours
the
in.
very end.
Where we just ran right into it, just talking about
Again,
video games.
it was like
Holy
4 in the
shit.
morning.
Yeah.
So what are
It
you
was
gonna do?
3. It was 3 in the morning where we started.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah,
Welcome.
that's a sweet story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cute.
All right. So what did we do this year? We
What-
launched a
what
YouTube
did we
channel.
do?
We launched a YouTube channel.
It's like 2 months old.
We
3
started a
months?
show and then put it on hiatus.
Oh yeah, we started Miscellaneous.
Yeah, and then put it on hiatus.
Yeah.
Now,
Last
is
year.
hiatus that's different than is that the same as hold? Like it's on hold? Like it's not canceled.
It's not canceled.
No,
Okay.
we're
This isn't a swamp thing. This is like we're just waiting for the renewal.
No. We didn't have tax problems.
No,
We're
okay,
fine.
cool.
No, they just have they just have scheduling problems.
Yeah.
And
So
it is
that-
going
so
to come back.
that's
They
the
just
thing
haven't
about
decided when.
Thank you for telling me about my show.
You're welcome.
The problem, not the problem with Miscellaneous, was that we started Miscellaneous when.
No, I'm just like your hands in front of my face. I'm just like, hey, hey guys.
Oh, so we started Miscellaneous, and then I moved, and then just things got really hectic for me. We couldn't schedule a time to do it, so we decided on a more seasonal format. So season 1 is how it exists now, and then we'll launch season 2, and it's only not season 0 because I can't do that. It won't let me do that.
I will always think of it as season 0, and our true season 1 will start
Yeah.
soon.
So season 2 will be in a couple of months. I'm now that things are a little bit more stable for me. I'm starting research. I'm starting writing episodes, and we're gonna start releasing.
Gonna
them.
marvel now this.
Much like we want to do with future YouTube productions, we want to make sure that we put a certain backlog of material behind us before we actually go back into it.
Yeah, this is the only show.
And we'll talk about that later in this
Yeah,
episode.
this is the only show that we can do weekly. Like
Yeah.
really, that we can
'Cause
only
it's,
find.
it's
Yeah.
news, like weekly news based, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Fake
we-
Nerds Watch we manage all right.
Yeah. I would
Um,
say whenever we can.
It still comes out weekly.
Basement Arcade is able to be done weekly, but that is
Yeah.
also because you guys are
We
able to
have-
backlog that, and so
Yep.
that's what we want to be able to do with other projects.
See, with video games, it's easy because like you can record for hours at a time and just cut it up, and then you literally have 2 months in advance. Like it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Miscellaneous, hot scoop. Miscellaneous will be coming back, and we will.
You heard it here
announce that-
first.
this year.
We will announce.
We
that
just
soon.
don't know when this year.
Yeah.
But this year.
Ben, do you have any more thoughts on my show, Miscellaneous?
Yeah, I need to really research my topic because I've been every time I listen because I do listen to you guys.
By the way, you'll be season 3.
What?
Well, because I have a plan. I don't want to say it on the on the episode.
Okay. Do you know what my topic is for your show or
Well,
no?
you wanted to do the same thing. You've talked to me about the same thing all the time.
Okay.
Wait, is it a Greek topic?
No, it's not a Greek
Okay,
topic.
then it's not season 2.
That we're trying to keep seasons locked into mythologies now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the I know what you've wanted to do for a long time. I want to make that a whole season.
Okay.
We're talking
then.
about that mythology, so
Gotcha.
So the next
So
season
I got
will be,
time then.
Yes,
you have time.
Great.
Yeah. So more seasonal format for Miscellaneous. I'm very proud of Miscellaneous. I'm really glad we got that out there, and I want to get more of it out there. I
Yeah.
really like that show.
It's definitely a show that not a lot of people do.
No, it's not.
No, which
There's not a big.
The only other
market for it.
podcast I've seen even kind of in that vein is Myths and Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we started that, and we didn't start it. You guys started that because we played God of War.
Yeah, God of War really enhanced my love of mythology again.
Yeah.
I this year has been really. Yeah, I'll say this year because Dragon Ball Super and all that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Like this year has really gotten to the point where I've been looking back a lot on my fandoms, like looking a lot of what past me, like far past me, was interested in, and having those kind of becoming more prevalent in my current fandom space. Like Dragon Ball, I was content with Dragon Ball being dead for me. and then Broly. And I'm like, well, Dragon Ball is the greatest thing I've ever seen now.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm into that now. Godzilla was another one of those things. Although my renaissance for Godzilla came with 2014. That's when I really hardcore got back into it. And then mythology, God of War, shit, I loved mythology when I was a kid. I want to get back into that. It was a big hobby for me, and so Miscellaneous kind of came out of that.
Yep.
I love it.
What
I
else,
like
what else
playing.
did we do
I,
this last year?
I like playing video games, so I was like, can we just do that together?
Yeah.
And put it up.
Yeah,
Cool.
Basement Arcade.
Basement Arcade is such a good... Ben, that's your name, right? Basement Arcade?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great name.
Thanks.
I remember you telling me about Basement Arcade
Years
when
ago.
we started this podcast.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been sitting on that name, Basement Arcade, for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Back before, I was just after I met you. I moved out of CSUN to go back to come back home in the Diamond Bar Walnut area, and I was going to Mount Sac at the time. I was in an internet class, and a friend of mine who was also a big gamer, he asked me, he's like, hey, we had to do a blog for a class, and he asked me, he's like, hey, my blog is like straight video games. I know you're a big video game guy. Do you want to contribute to this website? I'm like, hell yeah, I do. I wrote a few articles for him. Like when Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance was announced, I was like, what the hell? I was like ranting on that. And he was like, yeah, I'm trying to think of a good name for us. And I'm like, oh, I got one. How about Basement Arcade? And he was like, yeah, no, I'm going to stick with my name. I'm like, well, it's your website, so I can't really say anything. So I was glad that I was able to sit on this for a while because I really dig the name Basement Arcade. And
I'm glad that other person doesn't have it.
yeah.
Yeah, and Ryan,
What's up?
I don't want to say what's on the show, but you also told me a video game-esque podcast name.
Does it involve superhero stuff?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah.
Yeah.
That's still eventually something I want to work on, but
I don't want to say what the name is, but that's
yeah.
also a great name.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love that name, by the way.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that. Are we still going to do that?
Yes, the problem is
Time?
No, not even time.
Okay.
It's just a lot of the games that I need to get are much older and harder to find and more expensive because they're more obscure because nobody bought them because they're bad.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, it's a slow process that eventually will.
It's a down the road thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What I'm really proud of us is that we took the time. We didn't just okay, we got YouTube now, but we waited for a plan and we executed that plan.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't like my experience with a different show where I had an idea and then the next day we just went for it. There was no plan. There was no it was just a let's dive right into it. And then if you want to say 3 months later, gone.
Some would say that show is still doing that to this day.
I mean, but
Damn dog.
The thing with Fake Nerd
I love it.
podcast, when it first started was Fake Nerd Guys.
I'm glad we changed it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I am too.
I feel Fake Nerd podcast rolls off the tongue a little bit better than Fake Nerd Guys.
Yeah, I like it too. But when that started, that was
That was another.
that was one of those things where it was okay, we had this idea, and then the next day it was a reality.
Yeah, it's hit the ground running. Don't plan the damn thing.
But in the defense of that, I don't think this would have
evolved into what it's become.
Yeah, I don't think the show would have. If we didn't have that push, this show would never have happened.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the fact that we did hit the ground running and do it that day.
Hey,
Yeah.
silver lining.
Hi,
Yeah.
Megan. We can see you.
We have a friend. Hey, she's been part of this 3-year anniversary. She's been here the whole time.
She has been here the whole time.
The whole
The
time.
whole time.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it true?
Yes.
Has she been in our lives since we?
Well, yeah. She's been in our lives. We haven't been together the entire time, but yeah, she's been.
I mean,
in
we
our
can
lives
wreck
the
on
whole
that right
time.
now.
Yeah, sure. No, we've been together, honey. We've been together 3 years now.
Okay. Cool.
I think we owe each other one anniversary.
Oh
There you go.
snap!
Oh, this is a bad turn.
Wait, hold on. Erase the
yeah.
last 5 minutes of this. That didn't happen.
Nobody can hear that on this podcast. What she just said.
I know. It's gonna be really
the
funny.
mystery.
It's gonna be really funny because
She said I owe her an anniversary gift.
said we owe each
Sorry.
other.
Yeah, we owe each other.
After the podcast.
Okay, so reflecting on the past year,
Yes.
Miscellaneous,
Yes.
Basement Arcade,
Yes.
Fake Nerd Watch.
Oh yeah, Fake Nerd Watch.
That's
Game of Thrones, behind the scenes chatter, Game of Thrones, knowing we wanted to do Fake Nerds Watch for it was kind of the thing that said we need to get our YouTube stuff in order now.
Yeah.
It's for this. We're going in for this.
Yeah.
It wasn't we have to do it now without a plan, but it was hey, we knew this was on the horizon. That's when we started talking about, we definitely want to have it up by then. So we need to figure out what we're doing by then.
Yeah.
Not that we're doing anything that incredible
No.
on the YouTubes.
No, but it's
Uh,
it's
But just making sure that we're on a consistent page.
that's my thing. Like, it's not hard doing what we're doing, but as long as you stay consistent and we enjoy what we're doing, then people will come.
yeah.
If you build it, they will come.
Exactly.
God, you beat me by 1 second.
I love
Brandon.
I love sports.
Well, since we've gone to YouTube, you said our audience has expanded,
Yes, it has.
which is awesome.
Yeah, our listenership on certainly, and we're having some Spotify issues. I don't know if they're still having that while this video comes up, but there you go.
There you go.
But yeah, we our listenership has almost doubled.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Woohoo.
and we've also been able to kind of steep ourselves into networking a little bit better too.
Yeah.
Thanks in part to friends like the Downright Nerdy podcast,
Mhm.
amongst others.
Yeah.
And they've been really cool. New podcast.
Yes.
That have been very supportive of us.
Yeah.
Always appreciate that sort of thing.
It's been a nice mutual relationship,
Yeah.
and I'll kind of talk a little bit more about them probably later.
Future.
What else? We had in like interviews. We had Chris Swindle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we did.
We had Chris Swindle and Ken Knapsack as two awesome interviews. I know we just talked about them recently on our last episode before this, but
Yeah.
it was really great to have them in place with us. Also, Mike Matola started doing the movie challenges.
Yes,
That's been so fun.
Mike Possible Trivia Challenge. Yeah, it's been really fun to have Mike on a more regular basis doing these sort of things. And then there's the Jesus. What was it was something about. Oh yeah, we got merchandise.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, I just kind of like, hey, nobody buys it, but
You got a little too into making T-shirts for a while.
Yeah, I did. Of Endgame. The point that I wanted to make was, hey, it cost us nothing to do this,
Yeah.
and they're there,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
if we do it, then they're there,
Yeah.
and we are not we lose nothing by having it.
Sure.
And I thought that was really important, especially if we go to conventions. It's better to market us if we've got
If we're wearing a
the
T-shirt.
shirt than if we're just being like, please, sir, take my card.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
my card.
Yeah.
My card, please.
Which was a bummer because I bought my Fake Nerd T-shirt right before WonderCon. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wear this on Sunday, and then it's like, yeah, it's not gonna show up till Monday, the day
Womp
after
womp.
you need it. I'm like, you rat
You
bastards.
should have just called WonderCon and asked
Also,
them to hold
New
on.
business cards.
Also,
Look at
didn't
that.
a sale happen
Yeah,
like a little bit after you did it?
No, I
Oh
think
yeah,
no,
tons of sales on T.
I bought it on the sale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought it on the sale. I even paid for extra shipping so I could say, I was like, I need this on Friday. I need this before WonderCon.
No, you
and
don't.
It still showed up afterwards.
Too
I'm like,
bad,
son
sucker.
of a bitch.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. I know what
Oh, well.
else happened in this past year.
Yeah.
I stopped being on the phone.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Has it only been
Yeah,
a
that
year?
was
because
It has only
Ryan
been a year.
Ryan and I moved into this place
Yeah.
almost a year ago?
almost a year ago.
Wow.
We're not quite there
Crazy.
yet. But almost
Yeah.
a year
No,
ago.
That's
you
that's
guys
insane.
moved. I moved shortly afterwards. All of us
We've
moved.
all changed our
In a-
lives. Yeah.
In a single year, all of us moved.
Wow.
But the bigger point is now I'm here in person.
Thank
Yeah.
God.
Which is part of what made YouTube possible because
Yes.
Mhm.
a year ago that still was not the case yet.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
because you were still far, far away.
Yeah.
And you were on the phone.
Yeah, you moved down here and it changed the whole dynamic of the show. Actually,
for the super better.
Oh, yeah.
I would absolutely agree with that.
Stop.
Here,
Stop it.
oh, whatever.
No.
Hey, I'm just happy these guys live like 5 minutes away from me, so we can get into a whole bunch of shenanigans
Yeah, I'm
whenever
glad
we
they
can.
missed the 5 minutes away from you too.
Hey, it's okay.
I'm not hurt.
I love you.
I love you too.
For reference, Brandon lives about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the day, away from us.
Man,
Yeah.
traffic today was horrible. It took me an hour and a half to get here.
I noticed
Ah.
it took you a while. I felt bad about that.
It was an accident on the whatever the hell freeway I
210.
take.
Man, bad
Yeah.
drivers.
Sorry.
Sucked. Anyway,
We make it work, though.
LA
do.
traffic, guys.
We
Yeah.
live in the Los
Hey guys,
Angeles
if you
area.
think your city has worse traffic, it doesn't.
Yeah, no, LA's.
It doesn't.
I could see New York having worse.
well,
But
you
more
don't.
people walk in New York.
Yeah,
than-
well, the thing is,
I
you
saw
don't
a
get.
movie where people had sex in a stopped car in
LA?
Russia.
oh, in Russia.
In Russia with traffic. That was not a porn film. It was some weird advertising movie
Oh.
with
Well, it's unreal.
I remember the title of the movie. I'm feeling really attacked right now.
By yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate that I don't remember this.
Anything else you guys want to talk about looking back on
Let's see.
on us?
I want to say,
No.
just looking back, we had a lot. I want to say that trip to Comic-Con that the three of us, sadly, Sparks, you weren't able to go with us.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
I mean, I know.
I'm glad you guys got to do that.
Yeah, that was fun. Just really just going to cons with you guys is just great. Just waking up is like, hey, we get to go do something fun, or seeing movies. Like I will never forget a few months ago when we woke up and we all saw Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
That was
Oh man,
Endgame.
I think about my experience watching Avengers Endgame all the time.
yeah.
I
That first time.
I just cannot wait for that Blu-ray.
It's called The Mad Cow. No, it's called Branded.
What
It's
is?
called Branded. The movie I was talking about. It's called Branded.
Oh, I know what movie that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. It
Oh
was
wow,
great.
I heard like the worst things about that.
I mean,
This is like giant like balloons or
it
something.
came out like 8 years ago,
Yeah.
so I don't remember it.
I remember it has like English actors in it.
Yeah, but it's a Russian-made film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Jeffrey Tambor's in it.
That's right. Oh no.
Yeah.
Jeffrey-
Oh, Max von Sydow's in it.
Oh, Max.
Yeah, it's not good. Don't watch it.
I wasn't going.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to them.
Hey guys, don't see it.
So,
We're here.
So, showing
Fake Nerd Podcast.
Fake Nerd Podcast.
3 years
Where are
later.
we?
3 years, baby.
3 years of tangents.
And we're not done yet.
Never.
Nope.
We're not?
No.
I don't.
Oh,
Not yet.
shit.
We just started YouTube, bud.
Yeah.
We got a long way
But I
to
made
go.
plans for next Sunday.
Well, you just said that miscellaneous and all that stuff is coming, so you got to keep this up.
Oh, I know. I meant Miscellaneous will keep going, but this is done.
No,
Oh, is it?
You,
Oh.
you got to keep this going
This is the
too.
last episode.
No,
Is
you
it?
literally said on the last episode.
Can we at least
that
make
might
it to
be talking about
150?
2 movies.
Like what kind of like endings? Like
Man,
148.
we're close to
Yeah.
150.
We are close to
Oh,
150.
Jeebus, that's right.
Hell yeah.
Wow. 150
That's
episodes.
awesome.
We
I
are
never-
not doing
well-
150th episode special thing.
No.
I never thought this show would get this far. I'll
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah.
I
I-
kind of hoped,
Mhm.
but I honestly didn't think it would
I'm
do
just
it.
glad that we've been consistently doing it.
And
I
you
mean,
know what it is?
every once in a while we had to take a week off for reasons, which is
Yeah, man, we're all human.
understandable, but consistently every Sunday for the past 3 years, the 4 of us have gotten together and talked about something.
So what I realized is that I don't know if you guys feel this way, but you might. But the idea that this podcast has created a commitment that if it can't be going, at least one person will be upset by
Yeah.
it. So
I'm always up. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
usually always upset if I can't do the podcast.
So it's like if I decide to be like, oh, now I'm packing it up, well then all 3 of you are disappointed. So I can't do that. If Sparks is like, I don't care anymore. If Sparks is like,
I care.
I know.
That's what matters.
Good luck.
Now I got to
editing.
edit this video.
I know.
Ah, darn. Just put a meow over it.
Just put a
Man,
If Sparks is,
what's our time mark?
I don't know. Where are we? Hold on.
I gotta make a note.
28:34.
Look at that 28 minutes. Easy. 28 weeks later.
If Sparks is like, I want to pack it all up, I don't want to do the show anymore, well, then the 3 of us are disappointed, and so on and so forth. It's like, because we have made a commitment to each other, we have kept the show going.
Yes.
And I think if one of us is, even if one of us is ready to call it quits, there's still the idea that, well, these 3 aren't. So it's that I feel commit. So then people feel committed to keep going for them, and then that creates a new kind of momentum. I think the momentum of just essentially not disappointing each other.
I
has
just don't
kept us
want to
going.
I just don't want to give up. That's my thing. I just want,
I constantly want to give up, just in general, not the show, just in general.
The podcast is the only thing I don't want to give up on.
yeah, I just want to keep going. I love doing this show. You guys know I absolutely love doing this show. And I heard somewhere it's like you can't die yet. You have to outlive your enemies.
That's good.
Kind of morbid as that sounds,
great.
I have a bit of a mentality is like I want to keep going. I want to see how far we can do this. And we've had some trials and tribulations along the way, but everyone does.
Do we have enemies?
No, we don't have enemies.
Nah.
Don't say it.
No, we don't. We don't have enemies.
We don't
I
have
don't think
enemies.
that-
We're too
I would-
nice. I mean, we're mean sometimes, but we're too nice.
You know what,
to
If
be.
we have enemies, we're not aware of it.
Yeah.
So then that would be that's actually the other thing is like,
Michael Carls is actually plotting our downfall.
right.
This is like a Justice League Doom situation where he's yeah.
I think he's bald.
Shit, he's our Lex Luthor. Oh no.
That means he's bad.
Oh no.
no, but
Bald-
like
baldest.
but the fact
No offense
Yeah.
to bald people.
I mean, the fact that we've even made friends in the Downright Nerdy podcast is just like, this is great.
Do you guys
This
ever
is
think we're too nice?
No.
depending on.
Because hey, trust me, I'd rather be a nice person than a dick.
I
Yeah.
did when you gave Men in Black International a 5.
Look, it didn't make me angry. If it made me
Check out
angry,
the
It's
review.
a scale of 1 to 10. Those are 4 whole points
yeah.
that you have to be mad about in order to go down
Yes.
to. Whatever.
Check out the review.
I just got to be angry. Anyway,
Yes,
Hulk
I did
angry.
think you were too nice.
So the thing is, I think I brought this question up to you guys. One of the things that I do really like about this podcast is that I touched on it before, but Ryan, you're primarily the reason why the show has a positive outlook. Like you were the one who started that, and then we just kind of ran with it. I didn't even think about it. Like I didn't have a goal in mind to be more positive. I didn't really care. I just thought I'd talk about my thing. But you were the one who's like, no, I want to be positive. Let's talk about the positives.
Yeah.
The world's real shitty, and like we need to praise the things that make us happy.
And what I appreciate about that is that it does allow us to look at the positives. And honestly, I can't guarantee, but we'd probably be more successful if we were more negative. But I would hate that.
Our fans would be worse. Like I don't want to read comics like, yeah, F this, F that. Like we just talked about Men in Black, which is a bad movie.
Yeah.
Okay, but like some things are allowed to be bad.
But we don't need to put out our review advertising like why Men in Black International sucks.
10 reasons
No.
this is the shittiest thing of the year.
No, screw
It does, but we don't need to advertise it that way.
Look
No.
for our review.
Yeah. Well, even then, just recently I saw some guy post on Twitter that he took Donny Cates' brand new book. Was it his
Silver Surfer
Silver
Black?
Surfer.
Yeah, he ripped it in half, and it was the picture of a ripped book in half.
You know
First of
what?
all-
He bought that book still.
yeah, exactly.
Wait, hold on. He ripped our God's book in half?
Yeah. Our Lord
and Savior.
Who is this
Wait a
man?
minute. Well, hold on. Our Lord and Savior is Kevin Feige, so he's got to be like our
Patron saint.
patron saint Donny Cates. Yes. Thank you. Thank
That's
you,
fair.
Ben.
Patron say.
There we
Who
go.
is this man? I will kill him.
Yeah.
Don't-
We're trying to be more positive, but
don't-
also
In the name of Donny Cates.
in the name of our Father, don't trash his books.
Well, first of all, Brandon, don't do that. I don't want the FBI knocking down on your door later today.
Dunkin' Donuts.
FBI, if you're listening, Silver Surfer Black's real good. Check it out.
That's who would answer that call.
Yeah,
The FBI.
I don't know, whatever. But it was just like that thing of my point is there
The
is so
Federal
much.
Bureau of
I'm just
Ingestion.
imagining like they had the FBI is like, what did they say about Donnie?
That'd be great. That would be great if they did.
He's a fan.
Maybe like 3 agents would. But the point
Yeah.
I'm trying to get, if you'll let me,
Get it, girl.
Yeah, okay.
is that there is so much negativity online. It's just shit like that. Is that people just being mad, and I agree with Ryan. I don't want to be negative and mean
And-
for just the sake of being mean. It's not good.
It's not worth the
healthy.
clicks.
Exactly.
And I think that's a distinction that I certainly try to hold to on the podcast. I know, not calling out anybody else, but like I try not to. Dark Phoenix is a great example actually recently where like I'm not out there to like hate it purposefully. I'm out there to say like, hey, this didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I am going to be negative about it because it didn't work for me, but I'll also acknowledge where it did.
Yeah.
But that's different from like what we're talking about. We're
Yeah.
talking about like the needless, let's just, hate something.
Let's just take a thing
Let's
that someone loves
let's
and
just trash
squish
it. It's one of the reasons why I like Downright Nerdy podcasts is because when they don't like something, they're not saying like this is garbage and toss it out the
Yeah.
window. They're like,
Yeah.
these things don't work for me.
I was actually listening to other YouTubers. I tweeted about this. Patrick Willems, Lindsay Ellis. I feel like they're two sides of the same coin. Both of them. Lindsay Ellis is very cynical. Patrick Willems is not as cynical.
But also still cynical.
But still cynical.
His entire Marvel thing about how they're all bad, like they look terrible.
But I mean he comes. But they both come from as objective as they can.
They are
And-
film students, and like they are the filmiest of film people.
And kind
They
of
know
like
their shit.
I appreciate the shit out of that sort of format. I would watch 1,000 Lindsay Ellis, Patrick Willems videos before I watch one video of some guy going, "Why Godzilla King of the Monsters is a terrible movie."
Yeah.
This is why I'm not a big fan of Angry Joe.
Who's Angry Joe?
He's a video game reviewer on YouTube, and I'm not a big fan of him because his entire persona has become defined by negativity, even on things he likes. It's an overly passionate in liking something. He's hating on something else because he's saying this. His literal like programming will be to say this is really great, not like that other thing, because he is Angry
I see.
Joe.
No, I know exactly who you're talking about. I didn't, because I watched the Nostalgia Critic quite a bit, and he would go on the Nostalgia Critic show a few times. But also, same vein, I used to be a big fan of. I'm not trashing the Angry Video Game Nerd at all. I'm not trashing him at all. But the games he does review are bad. They are bad games.
I think that's kind of different though.
Kind of. You think so?
He absolutely like he's going for like a nostalgic like yo
Yeah.
these games like were really hard in our childhood and I'm trying to reflect that as an adult. That's not him being mean just to be mean. That's him like reflecting on his childhood and bad games.
But Angry Joe did get to a point where like
yes.
that is the
Okay.
marketing
and I am
of his channel.
I was a fan of him and I have stopped watching him because he he does talk positively sometimes, but his whole thing is about him being angry, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm just not there. I'm not there for that.
And
No offense, Angry Joe.
I mean, it's at a point where I'm like, I don't even know if this is really you or this is the persona you've become because this is what gets you the clicks.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like I can't embrace that kind of level of needless hate.
Yeah.
I'm not going somewhere to make me hate something.
Maybe I just
Right.
need to rewatch some more of Angry Video Game Nerds because I mean, in the title, Angry Video Game Nerd, and the games he does review are just like.
But dude, you gotta
oh
remember,
boy.
he has every single Halloween, he has 30 days where he makes 30 videos highlighting a Halloween movie every single year, and that's nothing but positivity. 30
Yeah.
days of the year, like
Oh no, that's good.
Yeah.
And actually, to give him credit, just recently he did these are the 5 movies you should watch before you watch Godzilla King of the Monsters if you've never seen a Godzilla film in your life.
Also,
and he was very
Angry
positive
Video
on
Game
all
Nerd
of them.
is like 15 years old by now.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing that was really popular, and like it's waned.
It's probably changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where I would prefer when we see a movie that's not good, it sucks. Like we
Yeah.
don't like I knew it. Like we want
Like,
that
no.
film to be good.
Right.
Man, not to talk about the last movie again, but like Men in Black International is like the first movie in a long time where I'm like, wow, this is like just like a really bad movie.
Yeah.
And that does happen sometimes, and it's okay to be negative on a movie. Like we did still find positives in it, and sometimes people just don't want to do that. And I think you need to find value in both. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
nothing, there's almost nothing that is completely inherently bad.
Right.
Almost. Yeah. I try to find positives. Yeah.
Did we ever talk about why we call the Fake Nerd podcast?
Yeah.
Yes.
Scott Snyder, Zack Snyder.
No, yeah, it's the Zack Snyder story. I've been explaining it a lot to people because I just bought a shirt. And
You're right.
as
We've done it on previous annuals, I know.
yeah, it's just
I understand that like it's not I like our name,
Yeah.
but it is overtly this weird thing of like you kind of have to explain it to
Yeah.
like to some folks. You have to kind of go,
well, it's ironic.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe in the concept of a fake nerd. So
Yeah.
just
Right.
kind of dispelling that. Anyway,
We
shall I-
might as well just call it the Casey Casual Podcast.
yeah, exactly.
or nobody would find that.
Yeah,
or
right.
listen to it.
At least we have the name. At least we have the word nerd in our name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to our topics?
Nah.
Let's do it.
Oh, okay.
Who wants to go first?
Mine,
all speak up at the same time.
I mean, mine's probably like the easiest and quickest. I'll go first, I guess.
That's the title of your sex tape.
Damn, dog. That's hilarious.
At DJ Tony Snark on Pornhub.
Prawn Hub.
Prom hub?
Oh. Hey guys, I'm gonna
shrimp.
no.
Did you say prawn or
Here-
prom?
This
Prawn.
is why we
Like
need
the
an After
dance?
Dark
no,
show.
but here's the thing, guys. Pornhub is capitalized on all the misspellings. So if you type in a misspelled Pornhub in many different ways, you'll still get Pornhub. They're
I'm
smart.
typing in Prawn Hub.
Yeah. Anyway,
Prawn Hub.
PRON.
Prawn Hub posted prawn pictures in Australia.
That looks
hottest-
just like Pornhub too.
Hottest prawn pictures on Australia. Most viewed in Australia. Recommended for you. Hot young prawn gets
Not safe for work.
gets penetrated by large fork for the first time.
What the shit?
Three-
Send me these links.
3 hot Asian prawns get tired for the first time.
I love this podcast.
Wow.
This is just fried prawns.
I love the internet.
So I was wrong, I guess.
This is wow.
Wow.
No, this was reminding me of
And
that.
it's like it looks like Pornhub.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
prawn. You can log in. You can register.
God.
I'm gonna register.
I want
No.
updates about hot shrimp in Australia right now.
Hold
What about hot
No.
shrimps in my area?
No, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the time that Brandon looked up Tetris porn before he started recording.
Oh, I did look up Tetris
Yeah,
porn.
you did in the last year.
If there's not a play on cocktail sauce as a pun in there, I'm gonna be
Oh.
upset.
Hold on, I'm clicking on hot young prawn gets penetrated by large fork for the first time.
This is-
Oh, nothing happened.
I
think that's
it's
a
like an
gag.
April Fool's joke.
I think it's a gag website.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Corn Hub.
Oh, it could be a gag website for sure. I
Okay.
mean.
Anyway,
Corn Hub.
shall
Corn
we
Hub.
jump into
Yes,
our topics?
please. I would
Popped corn.
Stop
Brandon.
it.
HD corn.
Stop.
Brandon.
What the?
Black corn.
Stop right there.
Corn gets shucked for the first time.
Jesus.
You're about to have an interruption in your cornhole.
Damn,
All right,
dog.
let's go.
Prawn
Hey guys,
Hub
I love
goodness.
video games.
Can I have the water, please?
Yes.
I'm very thirsty now.
Have you guys ever played the Leisure Suit Larry games?
I've
Those are
heard-
really bad, like
Yes, I have.
like mild porn games. Like,
Yeah,
don't worry.
I've heard about 'em.
Anyway, okay.
Wow, we're still here.
Sorry. Well, I mean, we're here. So my topic.
Prawnhub.com, baby.
So Prawn Hub. So my topic is we just had E3, and one of the biggest games there was Final Fantasy VII Remake. I wish it had a better title than that, but like, what are you gonna do?
Nah.
What are you gonna do?
Well, not-
Just call it Final Fantasy VII. So I'm really excited. That is a 22-year-old game that is getting a fresh coat of paint. New cinematics, new gameplay, new dialogue, but it's essentially the same game. We're also getting Destroy All Humans remake, not a remaster, like a remake. They're redoing the game. So we're in the eve of games are getting old now, and we can make them look how we remember them looking 20 years ago. So I was curious, and my criteria was, what video game would you guys like to see remade, not remastered, because that happens all the time, but remade. That's at least 15 years or older.
You're talking from the ground up remakes.
Yeah, like Spyro, Crash. Like it's taking those games and it's like, what if we made that in 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a hard one for me, so I'm gonna go last.
Yeah.
You guys look like you're ganging up
Ben?
on me.
No.
No, I mean,
You
like
said just start
the
talking.
the way you guys are sitting.
We're Ghidorah and you're Godzilla.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's no secret that I'm a huge Mega Man fan on the show, and I've said this before. I've said it many times. I want Mega Man Legends 3 remade.
Yeah.
Or no, not Mega Man Legends 3. That doesn't exist. I want Mega Man Legends remade, both 1 and 2.
Are those new games?
No, those are games for the original PlayStation, and they stayed there. And the thing is, we were going to get Mega Man Legends 3 for the Nintendo 3DS, but Capcom canceled the project.
Oh.
It hurts my soul because those are my favorite Mega Man games of all time. And if we can get an I was hoping that Capcom was going to do something with them because we got
I think this has been your Christmas wish
It
on
has.
our podcast
It
a
is.
couple of times.
He really
It
likes
is.
Mega Man.
I really want this game.
Wasn't this... Okay, so wait, hold on. Wasn't this the year before last Christmas wish? And then you just said, I'm going for it again, and
Yeah.
this is still your current Christmas wish?
It still is,
You're
yeah.
very single-minded.
There we
then.
go.
Well, because Capcom released the Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 for the Switch and the Mega Man X Legacy Collection, and we got Mega Man 11 last year.
Mhm.
So
And that's basically
Mega Man's doing good. He's doing well.
Yeah.
He's back, which yay. So
He's
come
back,
on,
baby.
Come on, Capcom, help a brother out.
Yeah.
Even if it's not Mega Man Legends 3, at least just remake Mega Man Legends into
What
a,
if?
into a pristine pristine HD experience. That would make me so happy.
Yeah. Okay.
I will die on this hill, and I'm okay with dying on this hill.
What if they just redid Mega Man 1? It's Mega Man.
Complete HD?
It's just Mega Man, but it looks real good.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'll still buy it.
Do you-
I'm a shill.
Is
so-
there anything else besides Mega Man Legends? Because we have talked about it before that you can think of.
I know.
Anything non-Mega Man?
You
Mega
gotta give me-
Woman.
You can.
You're a video game person.
Did you say Mega Woman or
I
Mega
did.
Man Woman?
No, Mega Woman.
Mega Woman.
You're one of them.
It's about
gamers.
time.
Yeah, I am. Let's see. A game. They kind of already did it. They already did it, and that was Doom. I want.
Yeah, in a
Yeah, that was
sense.
Doom 2016. Scheiße, Mitkaiser. What else do I want?
Shiza Makaiza.
Yeah, no. You know what? Crap, ask it. Sparks, you go. Let me give me a few moments here.
Hey, I've got.
I have
actually
like
two-
I have a big ass library up in here that I need to sort through.
I've got 2 nominations, and they come from the Dreamcast.
What?
Power Stone.
Oh shit!
Oh my god, dude, Power Stone's so good.
Oh shit!
Power Stone was an incredible fighting
That was
game
also an arcade
that
game.
used a bizarre battleground
Gem
layout,
system,
and I
too.
loved it.
And you
I
transform.
loved it.
Yeah, dude.
You are only one other person who's mentioned. The only person I can think of who mentioned Power Stone is Gerard the Completionist.
They made
I
a
love
bad
Power Stone.
they made a bad Power Stone ripoff a couple years ago.
I'm aware.
And it's bad.
Yeah, it is bad.
Yeah, Power Stone is awesome. I played that in the arcade a lot actually.
Make Power Stone all over again,
Man.
please. How has this property just been sitting unused at Capcom for so long?
That's a really good choice.
Damn it, Capcom! Stop taking our childhoods and not you making anything out of them.
And my other nomination that comes from the Dreamcast that I'm like, make a remake, baby. I'd love to go back, make it all new
Yeah.
again. Jet Set Radio.
Oh,
To be fair, they did do a sequel on the Xbox, but
They did, and they've done a remaster as well. But
Yeah.
I want ground up
Hell
remake.
yeah, that is a cool ass game.
Go deep. Go make a whole new world of that.
Yeah.
I want it. Both of those, I think, are incredible games.
Yeah.
I would love to go back to them.
you
in a
know
new way.
what? Okay, I thought of it. You know what I want a complete HD remake of? Pokemon Stadium 2.
All right.
Complete
Oh,
remake.
Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap would be dope.
Pokemon Snap
Pokemon
would
Snap,
be
yeah,
dope.
yeah, yeah.
That would even. I wouldn't think that would be a
Is
remake.
that your nomination, Brandon? No. Okay.
I wouldn't even think Pokemon Snap would be a remake. That would just be a brand spanking new game with all 800 plus Pokemon.
Yeah.
But or even like Pokemon Snap or Pokemon Stadium, because I remember when I wanted an N64 in the first place, I wanted Pokemon Stadium. That was the sole reason why I wanted. I didn't care about Zelda. I didn't care about Mario. I didn't care about anything else. I wanted Pokemon.
I got another
Stadium.
Pokemon game. It didn't really work very well, but Hey You Pikachu.
Yeah.
The N64 had a microphone that was a piece of shit.
No.
And it never worked.
Ryan, I had that.
Yeah, it was
I
bad.
owned it. I played it.
Pikachu, pick up the apple. No, Pikachu, pick up the apple. I was like 7. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like talking to Alexa.
No, Alexa's pretty okay. 1999 technology is not good.
But yeah, I would say my second pick would be the Pokemon games for the N64.
Yeah.
Specifically
Nice.
Stadium, both Stadium games, and Pokemon Snap.
I think all
Stadium's
800
a cool
Pokemon
choice.
would just be like
godsend.
insane. That'd be insane.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you want to go
I got
next, or-
I got a couple, and these are a lot of games you've heard me talk about a million times before. They remade Metal Gear Solid on the GameCube called Twin Snakes, and they really changed a lot of stuff about the game. But I want a like, you know, using like the Metal Gear Solid 5 engine, using the Death Stranding engine, make Metal Gear Solid again. Show why back in 1999 this was the first game to truly give us like cinematic, like, again, Final Fantasy had it, but like full voice acting for the entire game, like full characters, full arcs. And I'm like, wow, this is like a movie brought to the video game screen.
Right.
And like show why this franchise is still important now that it's completely dead.
Sure.
And that's something Konami could do, and they can get their good graces out to the world, because everyone hates Konami now. So that's one of mine. Yeah, I love Metal Gear Solid.
Nice.
So I looked at my list of video games I have owned in the past because I haven't updated the list in a while, and I did come up with a couple of options.
Okay.
So I guess I will just take out my pad and
Let's
read that.
do it.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
That'd be really cool.
Is that 15 years older?
I mean, it's game.
It's PlayStation 2.
It's
so
PlayStation
it's
2.
old.
It's
Okay.
old enough.
Yeah,
it's old
all right.
enough.
Yeah. So Ultimate Spider-Man would be really fun. I don't know if this one. I actually want to know, would a remake of Conquer be in question now? Because it was remade, but like another one. Because Conquer Live and Reload was Xbox, I feel.
Conquer Live and Reloaded is that original game, but like with extra stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like a weird line.
Yeah.
Because like it's like way better looking, but with extra content, but it's that original game still.
Yeah, I would like to see another Conquer again.
Yeah. I mean, Conquer's a silly, weird, mature character, so like it would be cool to see him again.
Yeah, but really, you know, I'd said before Matrix Path to Neo, cool, like a remake of Matrix Path to Neo would be really fun. But I think the
Reeves-olution.
The Hail Mary for me is Star Wars Republic Commando.
Dude, that was one of mine. Absolutely.
all
That's
right.
like the best.
Yeah.
That's like one of the best Star Wars
That's
games.
one of the best Star Wars games. My favorite Star Wars game outside of Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
That game was awesome. It was for the Xbox. I would love to see it again.
You know, much in that same vein of the Star Wars ones, they had at E3 the preview of Flight Simulator.
Yes.
I'd love to see
TIE
that kind of
Fighter?
technology brought to Rebel Assault.
Or Rebel Assault.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, Star Wars Republic
Like,
Commando.
you
I
could
think
make a
is-
really good new
Do people-
spaceship battle focused.
As soon as like that stuff started happening, people thought it was like TIE Fighter or like Rebel Assault, and like I'm like, oh no, it's just Microsoft flying.
Right.
Yeah, it's fine.
So yeah, Republic Commando I think is the also Spider-Man Republic Commando. Those are the two I think.
Going off Star Wars again, like I can't say Mass Effect because that's older than 15 years, but I will say a older Bioware game. And that's Old Republic. That game, you don't have to change the story at all. Just make that game look amazing, and it's a breathtakingly beautiful story about falling to the dark side and coming back to the light side, and like, you know, the trials and stuff. And I'm like, man, old school Star Wars is real cool.
Some of those old Star Wars games are really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also some of them are real bad.
Yes.
True.
When they come out, when 2 come out every year back then, that's
Yeah.
what you're gonna
What
do.
was that Star Wars fighting game for the PlayStation 1?
Masters of Terrascasi.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bad one.
It was I rented that from Blockbuster one day.
Yo, man, but that's a bad Star Wars fighting game. But you do have Darth Vader and Sky Killer. What's his name? Sky Killer?
Star Killer.
Star Killer in Soul Calibur 4. So, and Yoda. So what are you gonna
Star
do?
Killer was
All
a
right.
Soul Calibur.
He
What are you
was.
gonna do?
Oh,
And he had his backwards lightsaber. He was like, "Ah, it's me, Sam Witwer."
I did not know that.
That's what he sounds like.
I'm the voice of Darth Maul.
It's me.
Although, if you think of no, that's
Call for Papa Palpatine.
no, I was about to go on a bad tangent. Never mind.
A bad
Did you have another one, Ben? Or
For video games that should be remade,
yeah.
not really.
I have a
We got a good list there.
con-
Oh, actually,
yeah.
no. This might be a good game, especially considering how old it is. Adventure.
Oh, do like a super modern
Super
adventure?
modern actual dungeon, either that or the original Final Fantasy. But since now, like, we have games like God of War and what a Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order looks like.
Yeah.
Why not take the old adventure game, like the old where you're just a yellow dot from the Atari 2600, and just flesh that out completely? You actually fight the dragons look like dragons, and they don't look like flying ducks.
Yeah.
Turn that and like maybe expand it or even just like put it out for like a $2 game. It's like, hey, we remade Adventure. It's fully 3D and it looks gorgeous. So that would be something to see. That will get a lot of like diehard gamers who grew up with that system possibly flocking back, and people are like, oh yeah, Adventure, I heard that from that one. What was that movie? Ready Player One? Yeah, sure, I'll go look at it, and they find out, hey, this is actually pretty.
That
good.
has the least amount of story to
It does.
You can literally do
No,
anything with that.
Adventure,
Literally anything.
Adventure is one of those games that back in the day where you needed the manual. Remember video game instruction manuals when we used to have those, and you had
And
to
they were great.
This is a
segue.
great
Yeah.
segue into his
Oh
topic.
shit! I did not mean to do that.
So yeah, let's
There you
segue into your topic.
All right,
Yeah.
well, going back to video game analogy, because eventually you have to actually read to find out what the hell's going on, and then you play the game. But my topic is, it's a bit of a bummer, especially for me, because as you guys know, we're going to Ryan, and I love video games. I mean, come on, Basement Arcade, for crying out loud. But also...
What's that?
Oh, it's a show on our YouTube channel.
Prawnhub.com/basementarcade.
Don't you dare. Damn it, Ryan. Don't you dare.
Typing that in right now.
No, you are not.
You'll never believe what this prawn did in a basement.
Prawnhub.com/
Played a video game for too long.
Basement Arcade.
There's no way
Are
it's
you
popping up.
seriously-
There's nothing's gonna pop up.
Wait, let's see.
Nothing's gonna pop
Nope,
up.
but I could buy it.
No, don't
much?
buy it.
Oh, way too much money.
No,
Good, good. That is way too much money.
Couple thousand.
We don't have that kind of cheddar yet.
No, we don't.
So Patreon.
Yeah, get us that prawn hub, baby.
Oh god, where was I going with my?
Strategy guys.
Strategy
Yeah.
guides.
So I love strategy guides. Strategy guides. I mean, yes, they help you. They tell you how to play the game a little bit better, how to beat certain bosses and everything. But also, what I loved about
Playing
them,
Drakengard, they were a godsend.
yeah. But what I also loved about them is that they gave you story text. They gave you flavor text. They explained in
Flavor text is a rapper.
well, flavor text is also a thing in video games to like tell you like more about.
Flavor text is not a rapper. I'm just messing with you.
Ah, you son of a.
It sounds like a rapper though.
Kind of does, yeah.
Guy Fieri lives in Flavortown, though.
So
DJ Flavor Text.
Oh god.
So, sadly, with the coming of the internet and how prevalent the internet is, strategy guide sales completely dropped off the face of the earth. I was surprised they're even making some for Breath of the Wild, and then finally, Prima Games they haven't fully gone under, but they were bought by. Hold on, I have the thing right here. In 2013, the Penguin Group merged with Random House, and then they killed Brady Games. They announced in November 2018, Random House, to close Prima Games completely.
5
By
years later.
March 14th of this year, the division was acquired by Astery Holdings, which will shutter the print operations and instead have Prima provide game strategy guides in online form, as well as expanding into video game news.
So technically, they're still around, just digitally.
They're still around, but the print strategy guides, the guides that you can have on your bookshelf, and I have almost all my strategy guides. The ones I got rid of were my Mega Man Battle Network ones, which find out were the hardest ones I could ever freaking find. But with this death of strategy, it bums me out because, I mean, yes, I have an iPhone, I have a smartphone, so I can just look up a game guide while I'm playing Final Fantasy 12, while I'm playing Spider-Man, and find out how to beat this boss or get through the certain puzzle that's just driving me bonkers. But I also miss having that physical book so I could just like flip through it, or as I'm playing the game, just flip the page. I'm like, I'm sorry, and just go, oh, I got a boss fight coming up. I should probably go back and fight some more enemies and get better prepared.
Right, but isn't strategy guides going the way of the dinosaur?
Yeah.
More of less of a. I mean, it ties into print.
It ties
media's
into
death.
print a little bit, yeah.
It ties into the print.
It does
media.
tie into, but here's the saving grace of that. Now, art books, they've always been around, but I feel, especially in the world of video games, what I've noticed, especially with Dark Horse, I feel Dark Horse is doing this a lot more, is that they've been making these companion books that they don't tell you how to beat the game, but they tell you more into the development cycle, what the creators were thinking, how behind the scenes stills of like, hey, this is what was going on when we were building the games. Like Dark Horse, they famously printed the Legend of Zelda books, Hyrule Historia, Arts and Artifacts, the Encyclopedia, and now recently they devoted an entire book to Breath of the Wild. You have when the Nintendo NES and Super Nintendo came out, the classics. I don't know the publisher, but they came out with Playing with Superpower, how these NES games changed the world and how you can beat them a little bit, or Playing with Superpower, which is like a history of that console, and they gave you little tidbits of information about those games. So essentially, or even Dark Horse again, Final Fantasy Ultimania Archive, an in-depth look into all the Final Fantasy games. They have 3 volumes out right now, and they've gone up to, I want to say 13. So
God of War has like a big Dark Horse.
yeah,
thing right
God of War has a Dark Horse book. So even though strategy guys
You're talking
have
about art books?
art books, companion, essentially they're giant ass coffee table books, which there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, being a gamer and also a collector, I love looking into. I love the history of video games. I love looking into how this game was conceived, how the game was made, what sources
Well,
they
when a
took.
mommy game talks to a daddy game.
Not like that. And just recently, Dark Horse released their encyclopedia for Super Mario Bros. So stuff like that. I mean, the way the strategy guide is dying, but then you got like the Art of Atari, which covers and has boxes of all those famous Atari art boxes. So in a way, video game books are still alive. I mean, but they're not telling you how to beat the game. They're telling you more about the game itself, and I feel that's a little more impactful. It's essentially the flavor text that was like little tiny blurbs or paragraphs in the strategy guide turned max to 11. So now instead of a character getting a single box, they get a whole page. They get a whole section even. So
I think that's better.
yeah,
Honestly, like I like
kinda
the
feel
idea.
that too.
I think art books are more enticing than strategy guides.
Yeah.
Because you can find something on the internet, but there's no real like dedicated space for what an art book gives you.
Yeah.
Unless someone scans it, and then you just will just get the art book.
I don't know what age I was when I stopped buying strategy guides, but when I was younger, like I had a Kingdom Hearts one, I had a Halo one.
Oh,
like,
sure.
I had
yeah.
like my tweens to early teens, I had a bunch, and then at a point I was just like, I don't need help playing video games. At a point I was just like, I understand it's like nice and art, like, but I want to buy, if I'm gonna buy something for the art, I don't want to buy a strategy guide for that. I'll just buy the art book.
Yeah,
Right.
I
So
did-
like
I
at
had the same.
a point, I'm just like, I
Yeah.
don't need, like, especially like games like Dark Souls. I do not want you to tell me how to solve this puzzle. Like that's a game where the reward is solving it. Like don't cheat. That's strategy games became cheating to me after a while.
I get it. I get to the point where I'll look it up online if I've tried it up a lot.
Yeah.
If I keep failing, then I'll just be like, okay.
If you're
I
at
gotta
the
move
point
on.
where like I got to do this or I'm walking away from this
Yes.
game.
Yes.
Yeah. Whereas
That doesn't happen to me very often.
yeah, well, it's
though.
funny.
No,
'cause-
but I mean it's happened.
Yeah.
Actually, I remember the last strategy guide I bought. I bought it quite recently. It was the limited edition strategy guide for Final Fantasy 15.
It's like 2 years, a year old, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
How long have I had this in this?
Yeah, Final Fantasy. No, almost
14 years.
Almost 3 years ago. Because didn't that game come out in 2016?
Dude, I don't know.
I don't remember.
It was in development for 10 years. My
Yeah.
memory is so bad.
But Final Fantasy 15 came out, and they had a special edition strategy guide, which had some secrets in the back. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll buy that because I still have my limited edition Brady Games guides of Kingdom Hearts 2 and Final Fantasy 12. So some of these strategy guides they even came with art books in them, the Brady Games one specifically. But once again, it's for me, I'm a little bummed because I always liked having a physical book, and even times when I wasn't playing a game, I just like flipping through the pages of a strategy guide. Like, you know
That's
what?
digital media.
Yeah. Put your hand down. But there are times I'll be flipping through a strategy guide,
We're a
and then
digital
I'm
media
like,
podcast. I just want to
Oh,
irony.
yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. He got me.
I
We're a
got you.
paper-only podcast. Thank you.
Man, can you imagine if
Translate.
someone had to
Transcribe it?
transcribe this?
I'm sorry.
I-
Bud, booty.
I do listen to
Transcribe that.
I do listen to a podcast called Fansplaining. Shout out, but they transcribe their entire podcast, and I'm like, I don't have the patience for that. I barely have the patience to edit the podcast.
You know how sometimes you send text messages where you just speak? We should just put that up and have the entire podcast speak and see what it translates.
I'm scared.
Because half the time it's like, what?
I'm scared.
I did that for work once. I got away with it.
Oh.
Yeah? Oh, wow.
All right. But so my topic is like the death of strategy guides, essentially completely death. But at the same time, from the ashes, a little new research. Now these art books have been around for a while, but I feel that they bring more to the game than a strategy guide ever could.
I'll
I
say-
think so too, but
yeah.
also I don't think strategy guides are dying. It's just
Well, no,
online
yeah,
now.
they're different. I'm talking about the physical prints.
Yeah. Prima.
And specifically Prima's
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
And they were
of
like the unofficial,
publishing
like
of
official ones.
My
Right.
first ever strategy guide that I still own to this day, I'm very proud of it, is my parents bought it at Crown Books. Do you remember that store back in the 90s? Of Pokemon Red and Blue. They bought it because it had Pokemon on the cover, and I saw a cool dragon, and on the back it had the entire Pokedex, and I was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
I know I had so many, but like the ones I specifically remember were Kingdom Hearts because I was like, what does this mean?
I lost my
had-
Kingdom Hearts book. I'm so mad at
The
myself.
ones that can stick out in my brain is I had Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace,
Oh.
and both Sonic Adventures.
I still have...
I think I had Halo too.
No, I have Sonic Adventure 2. I don't know if I still have Sonic Adventure 1. I have to double check that.
And Spider-Man 2.
There you go.
I only remember having the Drakengard one. I don't remember having any others.
Oh, and a lot of the Budokais.
There
The Dragon
you
Ball
go.
Z
There you
Budokais.
Yeah.
Loved being able to like look through the characters and study the combos on the books. I would take them to school and I would just be flipping through because it was also a way to like take the books to school and like think about the video game at school, and you could kind of be like,
Yeah.
I'm processing this. I'm ready to go back and get into it later.
Speaking of Budokai, real quick,
Yeah.
I'm listening to All Systems Goku,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
they
yeah.
keep calling the key blasts fireballs.
Uh-huh.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Let it
Anyway,
be.
This is their first anime, man. They're
All
like,
Systems Goku, shout out, watch it.
Yeah,
yo, man, that's an old show now.
It's still, you can
You
still listen to
listen
it.
to it. You can. You're right. Sorry.
Finding Drago, check that show out.
That is something that I remember specifically. Is I would take the Prima guides to school,
Mhm.
or I would take them around with me when I left the house.
This is my
And,
living quarters.
Leaving the home now.
I would take them with me so that because I was so into whatever video game it was, and I would be thinking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get at it. Sometimes it wasn't even like strategizing what I was gonna do based off what it was saying in the guide, but it was just like studying characters or looking at the art or where I'd gone before to like remember and get hyped.
Yeah.
I
Same-
remember
same
doing
here.
that a lot.
Yeah, I would I remember when I got my Kingdom Hearts strategy guide for Ursula, I said, "Hey, equip this Keyblade and make sure you have these spells in your slots." And I was like, "Well, I don't want to do that. I'll keep the spells, but I had a different Keyblade, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I can still do different things on how to beat a certain boss." And like for Pokemon, as much as I think I have Kanto tattooed on the back of my hand, there are things about the original Pokemon games that I do not remember. And there's my book right there on my shelf, so I just pick it up and flip through it. And, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Do you remember surfing on Cinnabar Island and finding Missing No, and that's how you get like level 99 rare candies?
I actually never did that.
Wow, all my Pokemon were hyped.
I bet.
Level 99 Ditto. I can't believe I remember Cinnabar Island. Like, what is my mind, guys? Let me tell you.
Dude, just don't worry.
As my dad would say, he doesn't remember.
Bless you. Thank you.
He doesn't remember how to get to the grocery store every now and then, but he still remembers what he did in the army.
I
40 years ago.
I distinctly remember having the Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 strategy guide with me in high school in freshman year, and like taking it to rehearsals for a play.
Yeah.
And when I wasn't on stage, I was like trying to figure out how to beat somebody with
Downright
the best moves.
square. Kamehameha.
Yeah, square, circle.
There you go.
I was.
Sorry, I'm thinking of fighters.
That's the Kamehameha wave. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Budokai, that's square,
I still
circle.
remember that. It's insane.
No.
I do remember it.
No, the one strategy guide I
Back
remember.
X, back X, back X to teleport behind your enemy multiple times.
Oh, wow. You were that guy.
Oh, yeah.
No, the strategy guy. I remember my poor mom, because whenever I got a new Mega Man Battle Network game, we would try to hunt down the strategy guides for them. Those were an odyssey in and of themselves. For the life of us, every time I got a new Battle Network game, my mom would look at me and she's like, "Are we gonna try to find the strategy guide for this?" I'm like, "Can we?" And my parents didn't really trust buying stuff off of Amazon or online. They hated that.
So
They were
like you.
I was gonna say that sounds like someone I know, Ben.
Well, it's just I'm okay with buying stuff online, but for them, they're just like very like, we don't like this new thing. We just like the old, just going to the store.
Yeah.
So finally, when we did find it, my parents were like, "Oh, thank God!" And then like the next year, when the next Battle Network game came out, they're like, "Oh no, not again!"
Another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta say, as games get more and more complicated and long, like I can't even imagine, like, because I know like IGN and GameSpot, like they have dedicated guides, like
They
guides
do.
are still written, but something like The Witcher is 300 hours long. Mario takes like an hour to beat once you know how to beat it.
Or even-
like I can't imagine writing a guide for The Witcher where you have to go through every single side quest, every single enemy, every single
All the
lord,
pictures you have to get.
and I'm like, man, like that's a job.
Right.
Like that's insane.
There was the last strategy guide I really wanted to get was one for Skyrim. It was the complete edition. It was this
Oh my god, I can't imagine.
It was like this thick.
Yeah.
It was like that thick. But it was really cool because it was the hardcover one came with a bookmark and everything. And I was like, okay.
That's also probably a reason why Prima stops making them, because these
Yeah.
games are 300 hours long. You can't have a 500-page book.
Yeah.
Right.
And also that book's good because my strategy guys, they take up a decent chunk of shelf space.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm already, like when I was at Barnes & Noble the other day, I saw the two other Final Fantasy Ultimate Arcana volumes that I wanted, and those books combined are also that thick. And I'm like, well, I don't have space for this anymore. Shit.
Man,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that was a nice.
yeah.
I wonder what
Yeah.
what the biggest guide is. Like, what is technically the biggest game of all time? I'll have to look it up later. Like, what's the biggest game?
You or me, Sparks?
Rock, paper, scissors.
All right, I'll go. I decided to talk about a series of unfortunate events. One of the many Netflix
I'm really
shows.
sorry that happened to you.
Oh,
The show.
Shit.
This is one of many Netflix shows that I've wanted to talk about on the show, but hey, we got a lot to cover. Still holding out for Voltron. So it's not Voltron today. It's a series of unfortunate events which just finished its third and final season this year.
So it's done?
It's done,
Okay.
yeah.
I like that first season a lot, man. So
Yeah, I like that first season too. I like the whole show. I thought that show was consistently pretty excellent. I really do feel like Neil Patrick Harris like disappears into Olaf. Like the way he performs Olaf, I think is really interesting and unique. And like you see the Neil Patrick Harris mannerisms in it, but he's still able to do something different with it.
Yeah.
That I think is a lot of fun.
I'm curious to watch more of it because I've only watched the first episode, and then before we continued, Megan and I both decided I want to reread the books because I haven't read them in years.
Yeah.
So we decided we were going to reread the books, which we're actually in the middle of right now, before we watch the rest of the show. But what I couldn't get away from in the first episode is that I'm like, I can acknowledge that Neil Patrick Harris is a great actor. He is not portraying Olaf the way I pictured him in my brain from the books.
You know, there's always going to be that
No,
that thing about
100%.
adaptations.
And like maybe I won't feel that way past the first episode. But in the first episode, I'm like, this is not the Olaf I had in my head.
Yeah, I feel like Patrick Warburton, this is one of his best performances.
I agree with that from that first episode.
He's
for sure.
so good as Lemony Snicket.
he's got a great voice.
And the way he's talking about the Baudelaire family and,
So
and
tragic.
his relationship with that, and you really get what I like about it is that Lemony Snicket actually wrote the show along with Barry Sonnenfeld, and
That's what Barry Sonnenfeld was doing, not directing Men in Black 4, guys. He
Yeah.
was making the show.
Barry Sonnenfeld, by the way, if you ever want to see Barry Sonnenfeld try to do a Wes Anderson, someone's done it.
9 Lives.
Try to do Wes Anderson. That's a series of unfortunate events. A lot of the shots are framed in a very Wes Anderson style, but you still see Barry Sonnenfeld's flair for the darkly comedic.
Yeah, dark Wes Anderson.
Yeah, like
'Cause he's pretty light.
Barry Sonnenfeld's taking his Men in Black and Addams Family.
Cowboys, or excuse me, Aliens vs. Dinosaurs.
Oh yeah.
Remember that was going to happen?
Dinosaurs vs. Aliens.
Aliens vs. Aliens, thank you.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Future book club. Yeah, he took those kind of sensibilities, mixed it with a little bit of Wes Anderson with cinematography style, and created this weird, darkly comedic show that oftentimes I forget is supposed to be horrible. And there's many times where I'll be like, oh, that Olaf, and then he murders someone. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Olaf.
It's again, I've only watched the first season, but like, it rides a really great line of being like funny, but also like super crazy.
Yeah, it's
Like
super.
if you look at what the material's about, it's like, wow, this is really dark.
yeah.
Like this guy's trying to get this fortune from these kids,
Trying to
like
kill these kids.
Yeah, it's but it's fun.
This latest season introduced
Puppy dogs.
Jesus. He was nominated for an Oscar for Can You Forgive Me. He's in The Last Jedi. He's in The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh,
we
my-
really like him.
I do. Richard E. Grant.
Richard E. Grant. Yeah,
Got him.
He plays the man with no hair, the man with a beard but no hair.
Okay.
Excuse me, Bella. Luna. Hi.
Bella's your dog.
Bella's my brother's dog. Yeah, and the show is like oh man, there were so many fun callbacks in the season, and it really helps that Lemony Snicket wrote the show because he was able to add things that you don't see in the books. Because apparently, I only know from the books because my girlfriend read the books. The books are just from the Baudelaire perspective. You don't really get what's happening around them too much, but you are fleshing. You are in the series. You are fleshing out these stories with where the Baudelaires are, with people the Baudelaires are interacting with, and you're introduced to characters far earlier in the series than you were in the book. Like Nathan Fillion shows up as do you care how much I don't think this is a spoiler.
I mean, be careful of it being a spoiler for anybody else listening.
Right. So Nathan Fillion shows up as a character that shows up in it's supposed to show up 3 books later, but the first episode of the second season. He's there.
Is that for so it allows more character development for the
It
character?
allows for more character development.
That's
It allows
smart.
for the audience to get attached to that character, not knowing where that character is going to end up.
That's some Devon class stuff too. Like
And
they
you-
do stuff
right.
from later on.
Yeah,
early.
and you end up having a dual narrative instead of just one narrative. You have the dual narrative of what's happening behind the Baudelaires, trying to stop Olaf or trying to help VFD or trying to do all these things, trying to help the Baudelaires, and then you have the narrative of the Baudelaires and how they intersect and how they intertwine, and it cues the audience into certain story beats that the Baudelaires won't be cued into for 3 episodes down the line.
Yeah.
And I think that really works to the show's favor because it's not a book. It is doing what I like with adaptations. It is taking advantage of the new medium.
Yeah. How many episodes per season? Is it 10, 13?
No, the 10 episodes was season 2. It was 6 for season 1, and it was, I think, 6 for season 3.
Keep it nice and tight, though.
Because there's only 13 books, and they split every book except for the last book in 2.
Okay.
So the last book is the only one not split into 2 episodes.
Gotcha. That's a lot of books.
And man, he adds. Apparently, Lemony Snicket wrote a new ending. Not like a new ending, but like another, like a tacked on thing
and also.
Yeah, and it's it really completes the show in such a beautiful way. The casting of that show is excellent. Every single character that shows up, I'm like, oh, that guy. It's so well done.
It's weird because like when the show was first announced and like premiered, I thought it had a lot of buzz, and then it kind of just died. Not for lack of quality, but like no one talked about it.
That's the problem with streaming shows is that everyone's so interested
It goes
in
so fast because there's always new things slipping into the streaming
exactly.
services.
Yeah. You have this buzz with the new thing, and then it's now the old
and then
thing.
there's 20 new things.
I never picked it up because like the whole time I was resistant because I wanted to read the books, and then the only reason we watched the first episode was because Megan was like, I just want to dive in, and then we watched the first episode. She's like, no, you're right, I want to reread the books first.
Now, I read like 3 of the books, so when I saw the original Jim Carrey movie, I was like, oh, I read these books. And then I heard they're doing it again. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I read 3 of the books back in the day. And then fans started watching it. She watched. But I think my problem is that I know it's there, and it's always going to be there. But then, like you said, 20 other things show up, and I'm like, flipping through. It's like, oh yeah, series of fortunate events. I personally need to watch it. Oh, the new season of Dragon Prince just dropped. I'm going to watch that instead.
Yeah, there are priorities. Generally, I'll want to continue a series before I want to start a new series.
Yeah, me too. But
try your best to do that.
Yeah, we try.
It doesn't always work.
And then next thing you know, you're rewatching The Office for the 127th time.
Yep.
Especially because this is the Fake Nerd podcast, and we're talking about our 3rd anniversary, and sometimes I have to prioritize what I'm doing for this over other things I'd rather be doing.
Yeah, exactly. I really like the series of unfortunate events. I'm sad that it's over, but I think having not read the books, it was such a fun, unique, interesting show. There's nothing like it on screen, on TV, on anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think Barry Sonnenfeld tried to do the same thing with the movie, because he did direct the movie with Lemony Snicket as the writer of the film. But the movie didn't pick up. But the series did. And
wow. So he's his own Simon Kinberg, but it actually succeeded doing it a second time.
Yeah.
They were committed to getting this right.
I did not know that. Okay.
Barry Sonnenfeld wanted to get the story right, because he and Lemony Snicket were working together. And Lemony Snicket is the pen name of the actual writer of the book. I don't know their name, though. So Lemony Snicket is not only the writer of the book, but also a character within the story.
That's awesome. And again, see, like having your creators involved with your shows, this Deadly Class.
It doesn't always help,
Not
but
always.
it does help.
It does, yeah.
And another thing with Lemony Snicket is you get to be cued into where he is in the timeline of the story, and you get like he'll jump out a window to escape something. He's an active narrator because he's doing something while he's telling you the story of the Baudelaires. Yeah. And I think that's a really fun thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes the whole thing was good.
Sometimes having like the creators of the original content involved can be really great. Now I'm glad that this is one of those cases.
Yeah.
Not like letting J.K. Rowling write movies.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I love pooping
that's
on the
the
floor.
example I was thinking of.
Pooping on the floor. I had one more video game thing that I wrote down in my head and I forgot. For a video game remake. It's called Dragon's Lair, and it's a 1980s arcade game that is all hand-drawn animation. It's one of the hardest games ever.
I've heard about this.
I was imagining in my head like a Spider-Verse, like a 2019 take with the most beautiful animation you can put on a video game, and have it be like this action-adventure. The same thing, like it's a you just move left or right, up and down, or attack, and it's a cinematic story, but with like the most beautiful graphics. And I think that'd be so fun. Something like that.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Sparks, your turn.
Oh, okay. I'm going to talk about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
West Covina?
Oh.
Yeah.
California.
The TV show, not one of your many crazy exes. You did it to me.
Yep. That show ended earlier this year.
Yeah, I'm a season and a half behind.
Yeah, it ended four seasons total. They got to tell their whole story.
That's
so
good.
I'm happy for that.
Rare for network television.
Yes. I don't know what the issue. I'm not going to say issue. That's too hard of a word. I don't know what the thing is for me with the last season, but it felt like we got less and less focused on some of the non-main characters. And I mean, like, not the sole main character. We got less focused on everyone else around besides her
Sure.
in some of the last episodes, to an extent where I understood what the story's narrative was going for and everything, why they were trying to tell this very focused story. And it's a good story. It's all about, like, basic concept of the show is she was working hard in a New York job, and it was making her blue, and one day she was crying a lot, and so she decided to move to West Covina, California. Brand new jobs, a new career. It happens to be where this guy Josh lives, but that's not why she's there.
Oh, Josh. What a guy.
He's quoting the damn theme song.
Yeah,
They do it
I
in
love
show.
it. I love it.
And so she's the crazy ex-girlfriend.
West
But
Covina.
no, she's not. But she is the crazy ex-girlfriend.
Rachel
It's a
Bloom.
sexist term, but she's
Rachel
the crazy
Bloom.
ex-girlfriend.
But she acknowledges it as that term.
Well, she's so broken inside.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more nuanced than that. So, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is a pretty good show. I got through the whole thing.
You did good.
Thanks.
I'm proud. I love it.
One of the most impressive things that show does is it's really good at acknowledging its own meta existence while not breaking the narrative of the stories that it's telling in the show, which is an impressive line that they ride.
I think all the musical numbers are also really good.
Yeah, I think all of the musical, like, the entire cast is super talented. The characters are very, very easy to care about and relate to. Even the ones that you start out not liking, they develop these arcs where you change your tone and opinion about them.
What was the character? What was the character? Not Josh, the other one that she slept with in the first and second season. The one
Greg.
Greg. He did when he leaves the show. He does an Irish, bar song, pub song, and I thought that song was awesome.
Where he talks about, like, that he's got drinking problems.
Yeah.
Yes. It's able to do so many different types of musical numbers. It's got so many great references to so many different forms of media. And all at the heart of it, telling the story of this girl who, in all seriousness, she's desperately trying to find something to fill a hole inside of herself, and she believes that it's romance. It certainly drives that narrative of that being the tone of the show for a long time, and in its own way, you know, she has to discover some of the issues that she has problems with herself, and that's why, like, you know, core message of it being, like, you know, you can't expect anybody else to love you the way you want them to until you can love yourself and recognize that in yourself, and that's a core value of what the show is.
There's an episode where she almost commits suicide.
Yes. And that is a turning point in the show. It is not the same show before that as it is after.
Yeah, the whole. I remember because I stopped watching not long after that, but I do remember there was a difference in the show's tone.
It's a 100% different show.
Yeah.
And yet the
Is
same
it still
show.
funny?
Yes.
Yeah, but
it's the same show.
But she becomes a more serious character. She's not so much looking at this as like, oh, I love Josh. She's now like, there was something wrong with me.
Yeah, it even still then goes into its own quirkiness, and it in its own way is acknowledging that, like, overcoming something like that is a process, not a switch.
It's a whole song.
And
about
that's
constipation.
essentially the rest of the show, is her overcoming the hardships
Yeah,
of
better.
recognizing her own issues and her depression. Because up to that point, the narrative of the show is that love will fix my problems. And then that happens, and then it's like, oh, I actually have to address these problems. And then maybe I can think about love in my life. And that's still, like, and the show's kind of trying to guide you in a direction of, like, recognizing where, like, what you would anticipate normally of a show is, like, who's she going to end up with, and it plays with that idea a lot of you supposed to be expecting that and everything, and where the show chooses to go with that. I don't want to, like, spoil anything.
Is that Josh?
I'm not going to spoil
I'm just
anything.
kidding, don't tell me.
But what it chooses to do with that is, in a sense, I can even acknowledge a little on the nose, but I think executed in a way where I do think it's telling a better story and is the more powerful message. And I like everything that it did in building up to that. My only complaint is that for something about the second half of the last season starts to feel like we're losing. there's a lot of time jumping that starts happening in the last season, and when that time jumping is happening, I start losing some of the narratives development of some of the side characters. We just kind of like catch up with them, and it's like, oh, this stuff has changed
Is
their
this,
lives.
and this is just like my most direct comparison, almost like the X-Men problem, where like too much time has passed, so like
Not quite.
Okay.
It's that when we do get to catch up with them, because so much new change is happening off screen with some of these characters, it's just like when we are seeing them, we're just learning about these things, and we're not actually like getting to spend time with them anymore. We're just learning
Is
about
it like,
the updates.
It's like more, it's like they're showing us, not telling us.
Like they're telling us, not showing us.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of that. But the characters are still like acting true to the nature of the change that's happened to them, and I do feel like that time has passed.
Does
for them.
anyone-
The bummer is that it feels like every time I'm seeing them, I'm only seeing them to learn what has updated in their lives,
I get you. Okay. Yeah. Has
rather
anyone
than
watched,
actually enjoying their time.
Parks and Rec here?
Yeah,
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
Excellent show.
Like the last season's a time jump.
Yeah.
And like all those characters are different spots, but like you said, like we've known those characters.
But
so,
you're
like,
catching up with the characters for them to become part of the story again.
yes. So like I'm just saying, like that sounds like how they do it, and like they didn't fully go that way, where like it worked out.
To kind of explain some nature is that what happens is there's a big time jump, and then we're
years.
catching up with some of the characters. But as that's happening, we'll catch up with a character, then we won't see that character again for like 2 episodes, and when we see them again, we are now catching up again on what happened since the last time, and that's really the purpose of what we're seeing them for. And it's still good. It's still good to see them.
but it's like
still
the
kind of
last
catching up with
season, so
nature.
that we shouldn't be catching up. We should be ending things.
It's
right?
kind of like yeah. Well, it's just you spend a lot of time with those side characters, and as it's getting closer to the end, we're spending less and less time with them, and that's just kind of a bummer because you genuinely enjoy all of them.
Yeah.
I can liken it to, I think, like now since I've moved out of Monterey, for example, I see some people only like once every 6 months now. And it's kind of like, it's really great when I get to see them, but when I see them, everything about that visit is catch up.
Yeah.
And it's not a genuine hangout of its own natural. There's kind of an agenda of, I
You
need
have to
be
learn
filled in,
where that person is, what they become.
like, and reconnect on all that, and that kind
Yeah.
of becomes what it's like with a lot of the side characters in the show. But I still think the show's really strong. I think it's well worth a watch for everyone. There's something good, like great about it for everybody. I don't think there was ever an episode where I said this is not good.
I watched the first couple episodes of the first season. I'm like, it's I really like it.
I watched the first 2 seasons, and I'm pretty sure I started watching season 3. I just didn't get through it.
If you got to the suicide, you were in season 3.
Oh, then yeah, I watched a lot of that show.
Didn't Rachel Bloom like get hired to like write some Disney movie or something? She got hired to do a big profile thing that involved songs. I remember, but like.
I'm not.
No, I
forget
do
what it
remember that
is.
she was cast in one of the Batman animated movies.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
played-
she is.
Yeah, she was Barbara Gordon, I think, in one of them.
Yes.
Oh, that's it. I thought it was way cooler than that.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah. I thought it was like a music thing.
Her
like,
career is not dead on arrival or anything. She's taking a break.
yeah.
Creatively, she did so much with the show. Her and the other person who, like, because it's not just her. There was another
Right.
person who I forget the name of, but another lady, and they're the two who like spearheaded the entire production of the show. And they like did so much work, and were so passionate about it. There was all
Wow,
kind of like
she's
its
young
own,
too, man.
yeah. There was
Wow.
kind of like its own
She's
documentary
32.
thing
She's
on
super impressive.
on the making of like the show as they were heading into like the last episode and how it had gone, and that was really cool to see. And
It's always kind of interesting to see, because almost each, I don't want to say all of them because I didn't see all of them, but like most of the musical numbers on the show were always a different genre. They were always a different style of music from
Many
different
of them.
musicals.
Many of them.
And that was always fun because she was able to play with so many different musical stylings. And I think that really,
So
she was very creative
I
on
don't
the show.
I don't find this a spoiler really. So I'm just gonna
Batman
I'm
versus
gonna drop
Teenage
it.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm gonna just drop it as an example of like how well the show is able to weave in its narrative of what it's trying to say as a story with things that it has to deal with in a meta context. And for example, Greg, who you brought up, returns
Right.
in the 4th season, but is played by a different actor
Oh,
because Santino was busy on Broadway still, doing his own work. So what happens is that they actually create a narrative of Rebecca, the main character, doesn't recognize him when he returns. Because she says that's not Greg, and everybody's like, that's Greg. That's always been Greg. And,
Oh my gosh, she's
and
going
they,
crazy?
No. And they make it a narrative of like maybe you just always saw him the way you wanted to see him.
Oh.
And it actually becomes a narrative of like you need to recognize when a person can change themselves, because he's bettered himself because he was struggling with a whole lot of depression and alcohol addiction. And so they actually turn it into a narrative of like, you need to be able to recognize when somebody has bettered themselves and not lock them into to what you think your memory and perception of them was.
That's a clever way to
It
go
really
around
is.
that.
It really is, and that's how them handling that meta context and actually making it a part of the narrative. And I have to say, I agree with you. I wish that the guy who played Greg would have come back, but the guy who does it does do a really good job of making it feel like it's still that same character. It's not a different actor playing it. He spent a lot of time like getting mannerisms down. He spent time with Santino to do this, and he does a good job. But things like that, where they're able to like reference their own meta context, but they still are never sidestepping that to not allowing themselves to tell the story that they want to tell. And it's actually a really great story.
Having because this is not like the first musical show, but like
Sure.
to have it consistently good, where all the music's
R.I.P.
good.
Galavant.
Oh god,
Man, I love that show.
I freaked
It was
out.
goofy in a fun way.
Yeah,
It
no,
was.
like I love that show, and like I was like telling my friends like, because like it was like in like my musical class, like you guys, there's a show. It's like a fantasy show with like singing. Everyone should watch the show. And like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, you guys. And then
No,
two seasons.
when season
I
2
I
finally
love that show. They finally released the soundtrack with all the music on it because they only had select songs on it before.
really?
Yeah, it's awesome.
No, I loved when because I remember watching that show with you, Brandon, and then that show came on Netflix, and I showed it to Fanny, and she's like, "Well," I'm like, "Just watch it."
And then they put it for free on iTunes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she watched it. She's like, "Oh, this is great."
Yeah.
Like the first episode of season 2 is like, "Suck it, cancellation bear." I just love the title.
Yeah. Again, like being consistently good for like 3 seasons, 4 seasons,
4 seasons.
4 seasons, and have like songs, like good songs in every single episode takes
Especially-
craft. It takes
especially-
real craft.
Especially original music.
Yeah.
It's always so difficult. Most of the time when they do musical TV shows like Glee and Blackpool,
Those are those remixes.
they're jukebox musicals.
Jukebox,
they
yeah.
go for the already written songs because that's the easy get.
Sure.
But to write new songs, I feel like that's coming more into fashion. And I actually thought that Tangled, the TV series Tangled, was going to be a musical, but it was just the first movie.
Yeah.
The first TV movie. The series wasn't.
I mean, making it a music television show is like risky.
It's
Right.
very
It's
difficult.
also like twice as hard to stay quality consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
So like good on her, man. I really hope she blows up. Like, 'cause, like
I-
she's so talented.
She is, and not just her, but like a lot of that cast has
Yeah.
gotten a lot of recognition and notoriety because of the show that they're doing. Sorry, I'm snapping because of my dog.
There was time because of the Switch.
Yeah, but it's it's not something that we'll talk a lot about on the Fake Nerd podcast. I think you and I have mentioned it in passing like a couple of
Yeah.
times, but I want to actually, because it's over, give a like to, okay, hey, it's done. It's a full story. You won't be disappointed by watching the entire thing. You really should do it if it's even vaguely in a vein of something you think you'd enjoy. And I think there's a lot to get out of it. It is not like anything else that's ever been made as a television show. It really isn't. I know, like we say, like there have been other musical shows, but never a musical show that was so willing to tackle such an aggressively forward-thinking narrative about who we are as people and address it from so many different angles. Because while Rebecca is the main character, many of the other characters also have personal issues and developments and narrative arcs that they have to address and get over. And even if Rebecca's isn't the one that relates to you, somebody's in that show probably
It
will
was.
be.
It was. I was just about to say the exact same thing. Her roommate, her neighbor, the brown girl with curly hair. I forgot
Yes.
her name.
Heather.
Her whole narrative of trying to figure out what she wants to do in life.
Yes.
Because she was in college for like
She was
years.
a total slacker.
Yeah, a complete slacker, and then she tries to figure out what she wants to do in her life, and that's a really good narrative. Josh's ex-girlfriend,
Valencia.
she's a completely different character come season 2.
Man, she's a completely different character by the end of that show.
She sings a whole song about constipation, like Ben heard me say earlier today.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like all the characters are able, and like Valencia is a character you are driven to not like her very much because
Well, I don't
she
like
is-
going to Valencia.
because
so.
she is the girlfriend of Josh, who you don't want him to be with because you want him to be with Rebecca, and that's
Yeah.
the narrative of the first season. But all of that evolves and changes as the show goes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's an impressive body of work, and like also like really strongly features a lot of non-heterosexual relationships, and that's awesome too.
Okay.
Like there are multiple gay relationships in that show, and they're handled really, really well.
That's good. Yeah.
and it never feels
her
ham-fisted
boss.
to go at them. Yeah, her boss. Like a part of an entire sequence is her boss discovering that he is in fact bisexual in season 1.
I'm into it.
At like the age of 46 or something.
Yeah.
And he discovers that he's bisexual, and he's like, oh, and it's really
that
cool.
explains it.
And like how his lifestyle as a person changes after that point, and like the way that he kind of like learns about that world and himself through it is really interesting.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I really like that show. All right, so let's talk about what we're looking forward to.
The future.
What's going on in the future webs?
Oh my God, I don't know.
Ooh.
Everything.
So we got Toy Story 4 episode coming up.
Well, yeah.
That's our main episode.
Oh,
feed.
like the immediate future is Toy Story. Yes.
Yes. But I said before at the top, we're looking at bringing back Miscellaneous.
Yes.
Yep.
Season 2 of Miscellaneous. We've always got Basement Arcade, Fake Nerd Watch.
I
YouTube.
eventually, my goal is to have multiple Basement Arcade episodes a week. Like either like both of like multiple series running at once. I want that channel. The more content we have, the easier it is for people to find us.
Sure.
So like
Is that where you're thinking about doing like Mortal Kombat, things like that?
that is a also separate. It is video game tied, but that would be Fake Nerd Fight Night, and that's where we play a fighting game all together. That doesn't necessarily have to be me and hhim. That would be all of us together.
Got it.
Well, sorry, real quick. When Mortal Kombat, you wanted to play through the campaigns.
Yes,
not just do Fake
that
Nerd
is
Fight
Basement
Night, so
Arcade.
yeah.
That's what I was talking
Sorry,
about, yeah.
Basement Arcade. That was,
Mortal Kombat
eventually-
campaigns is Basement Arcade Adventure.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're gonna
Whereas-
have all the Mortal Kombats.
Whereas Fake Nerd Fight Night is the four of us playing Smash and recording it.
Yeah.
And some of our friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoever's
so
here.
what else we got in the pipelines?
We
Man,
have a show we want to get out very badly that's all about Donny Cates.
Yes, we do.
And we're working on it.
our patron
very-
saint of comic books.
Very much want to get that show out.
Yeah.
We're
out there.
dedicated to it. I feel like I can confidently say within the next year we'll make it happen.
By the time the next anniversary episode comes out,
Yeah.
it'll probably be up there.
Yeah.
I'd really
I think
like
that gives
to-
us enough leeway. 365 days. That gives us enough leeway.
Yeah, I mean, we said in our first anniversary special, we were like, we're gonna get some YouTubes going, and it took us 2 years.
2 years
that.
after that.
We're here.
We are here.
We're here. We got it. It's
Hi,
up.
YouTube.
It's up.
Thanks for stopping by, San Diego.
Go yourself, San Diego.
No,
Ron. it's poop, Ron. You said your poop mouth.
Anchorman.
I love Anchorman.
Is that it? I mean, we got more things. I thought we talked about a lot of things.
It's-
There are
it's
other
time, man.
ideas, but what
Those-
ones will
I don't
come
want to. I don't want to
fruition?
say it and commit to it.
Yeah.
When
Right.
we've already talked about so much.
No,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Everything else is like under lock and key or
there
work
are-
in progress.
What I will confidently say, you know what? No, I know I'm going to do this. I do know I'm going to do this. I just don't know when it's going to happen. I am going to, with a couple of other people on occasion, work on a video essay series called Cartoon Corner,
There you go.
which is I have a very strong passion for a lot of cartoons that are happening right now. I've always loved cartoons, but I think there's an incredible amount of talent and interesting takes happening in the cartoon world right now. I think it's really important to kind of look at them on some level because this is the stuff the kids of our future are watching right now, and a lot of them are really progressive in a way that our cartoons were for their time, but
They were
this is
getting
something
there.
we need right now. Like, multiple shows on Cartoon Network and Disney Channel have in the background, like they're not forefront, and that's still a thing. But like in the background, they are making it not a big deal to have gay relationships established.
Is Steven Universe still on?
Yes.
And that I
Yeah.
know that's a big one.
Steven
for a lot
Universe
of
is a
people.
huge one.
Steven Universe movies coming out soon.
About a whole lot of identity stuff going on in Steven Universe. But another example I can think of is in Clarence, which is a show on Cartoon Network that ended recently. They made not a big deal of the fact that one of the children in the show, Jeff, was adopted by a same-sex couple of ladies, and he was raised by them, and that was just part of the narrative of the show. And it's an incredible time in cartoons where that stuff is happening, and they're normalizing what should be normalized for kids of our future.
And like, for some people, they don't see why this is a big deal.
Right.
And it is a huge deal.
It's huge.
Every small step for progress to show, like, hey, man, it's normal to be whatever you want to be. It's like super important for kids to see at a young age.
It took
Yeah.
it took a long time, I feel, but like we have a just a show about like just the days in the lives of a kid called Craig of the Creek, which puts front and center a black boy as the lead and his family as the leads, and is fully embraced in that way. And that's it. We're in this new age of cartoons, and they're all like very, very well thought out, very well written, and everything has like development and character arcs now. The cartoons are that is the other big change, is that a lot of the cartoons, pretty much all of them, are allowed now to be able to build upon the past, and so characters are actually moving forward and progressing and growing, and that's not something that we've had when we were kids.
Serialized animation.
Yeah, because it's always just like week to week, like SpongeBob. Oh, here's an episode. Here's an episode. Here's an episode.
Right.
There's no narrative.
Yeah, even in a more SpongeBob-like show like Gumball, the characters grew
Adventure
to an
Time
extent.
is a good example of
Adventure
like
Time
over
is
time.
Adventure Time is the one that kind of set this tone. Adventure Time, regular show, and Avatar: The Last Airbender
I was gonna say regular
are the
show, yeah.
cartoons that set the standard of, you know what, if you Avatar: The Last Airbender really opened the gate on this and said, like, we could do serialized storytelling and cartoons and people will follow. Adventure Time and regular show are the ones that kind of brought on the renaissance of the shows that were willing to do
Oh
it.
yeah.
Right. So you have so what's the series called? Do you
It's
know?
currently, I'm calling it Cartoon Corner.
Yeah.
And that's something where I'm not just going to talk about these politics stuff. It's just also a place for me to gush about incredible animation and characters and stuff. But that's something I'm pretty passionate about, so I'm going to be doing that at some point.
Yeah, I think it's a good place to say. I'm going to say it. I'm going to also say that I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do it, but I do want to do a video essay. I want to try my hand at a video essay. I've talked to you about it.
Yeah.
I wrote an article that I'm pretty passionate about that I want to see about expanding into a video essay. I think, Ryan, you also have a video essay in mind with
Yes.
a certain comic book
I
creator.
do want to wait until it's over, but that's going to be a long time.
Yeah.
So I can get the full wraparound.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I do want to do a story or a video story on Tom King's Batman.
So we do have more coming.
Well, there's been talk about like things that we want to move to YouTube to talk more about film and television in a more digestible manner where we're able to really just dive into pieces. We've talked about it. Will we do it down the road? I'm hoping so. I'm not going to say with confidence in the next year, but it's in our minds and in our hearts.
I'm going to say it. Digital Long Box will be coming this year. That's what I'm calling
Okay,
it.
Digital
My
Long Box.
superhero video game series. Where I want to play all the really bad comic book video games. Like, guys, have you played the Thor tie-in
I'm gonna
video
tell
game?
you no.
No.
Like the Captain America tie-in video game?
Nope.
Oh boy.
So
Do you guys love Batman Arkham Asylum knockoffs? Oh boy.
So is Superman 64 on that list?
I'm not playing that game.
Okay.
Enough people have shit all over that game.
Yeah,
I'm more
yeah.
about the modern games that no one
All
talks
right,
about.
All right.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's a Fantastic Four one. Oh boy.
And I feel like I can say this safely. We are talking about like when it will come up, how we'll do it. We are talking about moving some kind of YouTube video series related to our book club
Yes.
over onto the YouTubes and making that a functional feature.
More in-depth book
and
club.
series, a more in-depth version of our book club that we do on our regular podcast, and that's something we're talking about.
Yeah. So definitely in the next year, we're looking to expand our YouTube content. So if you're listening to this and you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, there is a link in the description. So definitely subscribe to YouTube. As far as our audio stuff, obviously we're going to keep Fake Nerd Podcast going for as long as we can.
That's
Yes.
that's the bread and butter.
Yeah, this is the parent show. This is where
Yeah.
everything comes from.
the
We're
parent
keeping it
trap.
going.
Fake Nerd Network.
Yeah, we are really building a Fake Nerd Network.
FNN.
We're working on it.
And miscellaneous audio. We will have more specials. Obviously, I'm not sure if I
We
don't
should do
thi-
another commentary soon because those are
We
fun.
should do another
those are just
commentary
fun.
soon.
Yeah.
How
Super
about
Mario Brothers.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm
we
here,
will
baby.
we will have another commentary up soon. We've been talking about doing Spider-Man the video game.
Yeah.
Maybe we should pull the trigger on that one
Yikes.
soon.
Yeah.
I don't know, Ben. When are you going to finish that video game? Yeah, that's yeah. Okay.
So maybe we'll put up another audio show. I think we had something in mind, but we're not sure what we're going.
We've
with
talked
yet.
about ideas, but nothing is solidified.
So definitely stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned.
Also, if you want us to talk about something, tell us what you'd like us to talk about. 'Cause
Yeah, definitely.
If you're watching this, you know what we all like. So, like, if there's something you want us to talk about more, let us know and we will.
Yeah,
Because we're not going to know what you
100%.
like.
We're always open to suggestions.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Uh,
Our Captain America Hydra Cap was a suggestion by a listener.
Yes. And I'm so
Right.
happy we did that deep dive because that's so good.
We intend to do some more stuff with Mike Matola in
Absolutely.
the next year.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully have a few more guests. We'd love to see Chris Swindle again.
Yep.
Ken Knapsack's another person we'd love to see
I don't want to
again.
get crazy, but maybe we're going to try some convention stuff. Maybe. See if
Yeah,
that works
maybe
out.
that's
Maybe.
gonna happen.
Who knows? I'm not going to promise it.
Right. And
the future.
one thing that very recently we did absolutely get nailed, like this is going to happen one way or another, we're going to make it happen, is Downright Nerdy Podcasts are friends of ours. We have a very good mutual relationship with them.
Great
I've been
guys.
talking with Michael Carls over there. You should definitely check them out. They're great. In
Also
some ways
have a
counter
YouTube
opinions
channel.
to us. They have their
Yeah.
podcast, they have their YouTube channel.
They have a better YouTube setup than us for sure.
They do, yeah. They're able to have a nice studio space.
Yep.
Like, good on him for that, which I've told him before. So later this year, in the anticipation of the last Skywalker Star Wars film, we are going to get together with them, hopefully in person. That's the plan right now. With Downright Nerdy Podcast, we're going to have a giant old Star Wars discussion. We're just going to go at it. So we're going to do that with Michael Carls and Riley Sloan from the Downright Nerdy Podcast, and that's going to be our two podcasts.
Bingo
coming
cards,
together,
baby.
making bingo cards, all that good
love
stuff.
that.
So we're gonna dig into Star Wars real deep with each other, and that's
Yeah.
going to be fun.
I love going.
And
That'll be much closer to the release later in December.
mean, since there's no more Marvel movies, we got to focus on something, right?
yeah, Marvel's done. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Shame.
Well, we got one more coming up
What?
next month.
Oh, Wonder Woman 1984 is next year.
That's next year.
No.
No. Joker is in October. Joker is in
no.
October. Please, Joker's in October.
That's the Joker theme.
Yeah.
Yes, that is
Put a
the-
smile on his face.
All right. Shall we
Wants
get
to kill
out?
the human race.
Shall we get out of here? We teased.
That's
We've
pretty
teased
good.
enough.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we get out? We teased enough.
Yeah.
I teased everything.
All right. We got a lot coming up. We got a lot of ideas, big ideas, and now that we have the YouTube space, we have a place to put it all.
Hell yeah.
So again, if you're listening to this and you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, link is in the description.
Or just click that subscribe button if you're watching us
and if
right
you're
now.
watching this right now, right there, right?
Thank
Is
you.
that? Am I on the right side to say that?
or here.
It's
or-
down
or
here
there.
somewhere.
It's somewhere. I don't know.
Right here, baby.
All right.
I don't know. I just run the page.
There you go.
All right, guys, that'll do it for us then. Thank you to everyone who listens and everyone who watches
Thank
and
you.
everyone who has supported us for 3 years. If you have been supporting us for 3 years, what's wrong with you? But thank you.
Well,
like
more
that-
than- we have great people supporting us, like our friends Marty and Sam Sullivan,
Yeah.
who appeared with us on our Aladdin review
They
special.
did, and that was really great.
And they're awesome, and we love them.
Or
Jen,
if you-
Jen the Key Thief was our first fan art. She was a fan from almost
Oh,
the
yeah,
beginning,
yeah,
right?
all the way
wow,
back.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jen's
Yeah.
been listening
yeah.
for a while.
We have a couple actual longtime fans.
Yeah.
That's nice.
You
But
guys,
if you have been listening since the beginning, let us know.
you're the real MVP. Yes, let us know. Also, let us know. Comment below in the YouTubes. Look on our socials. Whatever.
Find me on Pornhub.
Let us
Don't
know.
find him on.
Find him on Pornhub.
You'll never believe what this Strawn's up to.
Let us know.
Shrimp prawn.
Let us know what your favorite moment of ours is. What made you laugh? What made you cry? Hopefully, we didn't make you cry. Unless we
Happy tears.
happy
Man.
tears.
Do I have a favorite moment? I need to think about it.
I don't have a good enough memory to even think about.
But if you guys have a favorite, let us know in the comments and the
I do.
links.
It's easy. I don't even know why I thought about
What
it
is
that
it?
long. Oh, it's totally when we got Ben the first time with
Oh,
the Christmas
the
gifts
power
and all our
line?
lanterns.
God.
That's
Hell yeah.
100% it.
Yeah, you're
I-
right.
Yeah.
Man, I wish we had video back then.
Yeah, that would have been
retroactive.
good.
Yeah.
That would have been real good.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
Coming up on the third Christmas, we gonna get you.
So yes, thank you to everyone who's been supporting us. Speaking of support, we have TeePublic, we have Patreon. Check those pages out. Links are in the description. Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci, who has been there from the beginning.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Even before my Sparks and I's collaboration with Jeremy Vellucci goes far, far in our past.
Our first podcast.
Our first ever podcast. You can check him out on at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards.
Jackass.
It
Yes,
was that.
It was called Recordings of
Recordings
an
of
English
an
Jackass.
Jackass.
I don't think you can find it at all anymore.
Not yet.
I'm gonna Google it.
Oh no! Don't do that. Don't do that.
You reap what you sow.
Patreon, baby.
You don't want to do that, Bermuda Fonzie.
I don't know. Maybe I do.
I don't think you do.
Bermuda Fonzie.
Maybe I want a return of Bermuda Fonzie.
That's a good. That's
Hey,
a good
here's
name.
a fun thing.
That's a good name.
Jeremy's really good at coming up with names.
Yeah.
That's a-
Jeremy's like got a lot of great humor and talent. Top tier stuff is him coming up with names. But
not top tier stuff is
Bermuda
giving
Fonzie.
voices to those
in
names.
Recordings of an English Jackass, Brandon McClure played the voice of a female character named Bermuda Fonzie, which was Brandon
she's a
doing a very
female.
high pitched voice,
a voice I can't do anymore.
which would bust your eardrums. I promise you.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's so good.
Weather? Was she did something with weather? The weather?
She's
I don't remember anymore.
Oh,
It's been
whatever.
too long.
Goodness.
I think we have an idea to bring her back on the suburban proctologist.
Man,
Anyway,
we made a reference. It's fine.
Don't get caught in that Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus. Okay, Suburban Proctologist is a show. It is, however, not online right now, but we are getting it back online. That is our promise to you guys. We are getting Suburban Proctologist back
Promise
online.
to you.
And,
People-
and intending new episodes.
People deserve to see that hilarious show. But you can support Jeremy at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards. I agree, Luna. At Jeremy
a
Vellucci
dog.
Keyboards.
The Element and Treasure Town. Those are his bands.
Yes, they are. Thank you very much. And you can find Mike Matola. We talked about Mike a lot. Mike is a great guy.
He's the best.
He's been a supporter of ours. He did both of our logos for Fake Nerd Podcast and Miscellaneous. And we have them on regularly to do Mike's Impossible Trivia Challenges. Check out those episodes, and maybe we'll do something at a convention. I don't want to throw that out there.
Maybe.
Hopefully, possibly,
Maybe.
fingers are crossed.
But support him at Mike Matola on Instagram and Twitter. You can find us, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast. FakeNerdGuys@gmail.com because I was too stupid to not change that name.
Nah, man, it's cool.
Yeah.
You can't change the name of Gmails. It's really bummer.
Yeah.
But anyway, FakeNerdGuys@gmail.com if you'd like to get in touch with us personally.
Find us on our YouTube.com/692149821. Because we think
Is that right?
Is that really it?
No, I'm just saying because we can't change the name until we have 100 subscribers.
www.youtube.
Yeah, subscribe to give us 100 subscribers so it can be
Yes,
simpler.
please.
Yeah.
But
Just
until
Fake Nerd
but
Podcast.
until then, it's youtube.com/channel/UCQTSINDGULHFBKQTNHHFNW/featured.
Oh, I forgot the featured part. I'm sorry.
Also, there's some capitals there. You guys figure it out.
Yeah, you got it.
Uh,
Just Google it.
that was the dumbest thing I've ever done.
I appreciate the commitment all the way through.
I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Ryan, where can
I'm
they
at
find you?
DJ Tony Snark at everything. Just
Ben Magnet.
I am Ben Magnet27 on Instagram and Twitter.
Sparks Witty.
I am Sparks Witty on Instagram, SPARKZ Witty, and I am nowhere else.
nowhere.
And if you found me somewhere else, keep it to yourself.
Yes.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Pornhub?
No.
Nope.
No, we can't afford it. Remember?
No.
Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube. Subscribe,
Bam.
rate and review
Thanks.
wherever
And
you
click
get
the
us.
bell so you can get notifications of whenever we put new stuff on.
Ring a ding
That too.
ding.
Rate and review wherever you get us. Until next week, guys.
Stay
more
fake,
years.
Stay fake nerds for the
3
next
more
year.
years.
I love anniversaries.
3
Yay.
more years.
Booty.
Happy anniversary, guys.
Happy anniversary,
Happy
guys.
anniversary.
The goofy laugh at the end.
Not sure what to do with that. Ben, you can
Yeah.
probably come a little more this way, just a bit. Yeah, because I can sit comfortably here, and then Ryan can just move into it a little more. That's good.
Do I smell weird, or what's happening?
I mean, I'm still. The smell's right there still. Distance is.
Did you ever fart?
Yeah, I did. It was. I think after you hold it for a long time, it kind of goes away. I think it just reabsorbed.
It like disperses into your stomach.
I'm probably gonna die later.
All right.
Sorry, I keep moving back to where else. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna record. So let's say something.
Something, something.
I'm giving up.
Something.
Ben.
Side duck.
Ben.
Tickle bitties.
Big O titties.
Yeah. You ever heard tickle bitties before?
Ryan.
Take all bitties.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
All right, we're good. Let's do this.
I see a box around my face. I'm voguing it.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why there's a little red light.
Hi, little red light. Okay.
She caught the red dot.
Here we go. That was pretty funny. It's from the Secret Life of Pets.
I know.
I saw the trailer.
Alright.
All 7 of them.
Oh, we should all do this in unison. That would sound awful. Let's not do that.
No.
Let's all do it like those songs where they start like one verse, then the next verse, then the next verse, then the next verse.
What would I say?
I don't know.
We did that for the
We're
Avengers
just gonna,
thing.
we did do that. Let's not do that. Oh no, we're on video. I can't do my weird hand movements.
Yeah, you have to look
Yeah,
at
you
the camera.
can. I mean, look at the camera as much as you want to.
Now I'm gonna fart.
Okay, hold on. Here
No,
we
I
go.
can hold it, okay.
Here we go. Alright, welcome everyone to our...
Third.
I have to look at the camera. I freaked myself out. I freaked myself out. Alright, here we go.
It's okay. Bloopers.